Hello, everyone. Sorry I was running late. Sorry. So you know the topic. The topic is skin bleaching, yet light skin jealousy or obsession. So I'm waiting for more people to come into the chat. Come in. 1 second. So I'm gonna mute for just a second. Hold on. Give me one moment. I have to make some adjustments. I'll be coming in. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. This is February the 10th. Happy Black History Month. Even though it feels a little off. Hi, Sheena. Hi, Somali. Kay, Angela, I guess they'll be back, and whoever else is watching. I figure we have a lot to cover. I was trying to get a picture of one of the products that they have for skin bleaching, and it's a lot out there. I was trying to download as many photos as possible. But my stance was Black American women and skin bleaching. Hey, okay. So in any case, I wanted to touch this subject briefly or as long as I can. In any case, as Black American women, we have other melanated women who have entered into America. They call them African women, Caribbean women, and they go under the stance of many as Black Americans and the whole 9 yards. But what I'm seeing is this phenomenon that's happening in their countries and in their cultures. And some women from India and some women from other cultures do this as well. But this happens to not be a Black American woman thing. I think men in the culture do it as well from African and Caribbean countries, but I think more so African and Caribbean women do it. However, they do it. Skin bleaching is not something that's a phenomenon for us as Black Americans. They have now changed it to something called skin toning, skin lightening, just different things. But in any case, it's all bleaching. The chemicals in which they utilize to do this are very dangerous and deadly, whether it is an immediate effect or a long time effect. And as you can see, Black American women do not practice skin bleaching as a culture. We never have and probably never will. And you tend to see this a lot in the African and Caribbean culture. And they tend to have a disdain. It's weird that they want to get lighter, but they tend to have a disdain for lighter complected women, especially, I guess, in the Black American community. I'm not sure what they're trying to achieve. I would say, looking at how they're going from one extreme to the next, they're literally trying to achieve whiteness. I think this is even beyond them trying to just soften their features to look like us. To me personally, the woman looks better when she was in her own skin tone, but this is what it tends to look like. It looks very unnatural, very unseemly, and it does affect not only the outer skin, but it affects the organs if you continue to do this over time. And this is something that they practice. They have to practice it, and they have to do it on a consistent basis. Other than that, the bleaching will start to subside. And in some cases, when it does start to subside, it leaves some damaging effects. I've in all my 53 years, I'll be 54. I've never known Black Americans to skin bleach. We do things like maybe tone if you have dark marks, pimples, the whole 9 yards. Black American women in our culture have different complexions. It's just us. Because of us being a mixed group, we don't have a set look or a set features or a set hair texture. We are very diverse, but it's just our aura and who we are and what we present in our lineage and our culture that makes us unique and different as women. Black American, the ethnic group, is a monolith, but our looks, our features, how we live, how we move is not, how our personalities is not. But we do have in our community an issue with colorism, yes, but it's not framed that it gets so extreme with us as Black American women that we feel the need to bleach. If you're dark skinned, you're just dark skinned. It's not that deep for us to go to this extreme. I don't know any Black Americans, even though we do suffer from colorism in our community, we have not gone this extreme. And it's just odd to me that this is happening with the African and Caribbean culture when most of the people where they come from are very melanated. All of them are the same skin tone. And when we as Black Americans have grown up under the system of oppression of white Americans and finding a need to fit in, where we had to go through different extremes, but we never found the extreme to bleach. We do have in our community what we call white passing, where there were some in our community because they may have come out looking more Caucasoid that they felt the need to pass in order to not be brutalized by the systemic and the brutality of racism. We know that. But it's they that was them denying themselves, but not in a way that they want to deny themselves because they wanted to be white per se. It was because they didn't want to suffer the affliction of being Black. And that was hurtful for a lot of them, that they had to leave their family behind and start anew. And a lot of times we knew who these people were, and we as Black Americans understood, and we didn't say anything so that they can have a better life in a system that was so oppressive. But with these people, they're not oppressed by a system of racism like Black Americans. I don't even call them colonized. I call them doing bad business, because if we say, oh, well, the Europeans colonized them, well, you have others over there besides Europeans. You have people who are from China that they do business with, people who are from the Lebanese countries that they do. India is over there. You have various different cultures who have a piece and a stake in Africa. And I'm not saying that white Americans didn't do, I'm not white American, Europeans didn't necessarily do the continent of Africa shady, but I'm not quite sure if that was the case. I just think they're bad business people. They sell off anything for a profit. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they continue to do until this day. So when racism, we talk about racism affecting them, where they had to go to this extreme, I really don't understand it. I think this is just a trip to be vain, a trip that they are jealous of, and I think they're self-hating towards themselves. I don't think this is necessarily something that European society has imputed on them, because how can they impute it on them when they basically only have about two to if you want to come up, Shay, you can. I'm gonna put down the link. It's up to you when you're ready. I copied it down here. That they tend to go to this extreme. And anyone else who wants to come up and give a comment. At any case, I've been noticing some of their products when I go to the hair braiding. When I used to go to the African hair braiding stores, they would have Carol White. They would have everything that they basically had was something that signified white. So I think that Africans or Caribbeans are obsessed with whiteness more so than Black Americans who have been living around white and living in a white and European society all of our lives. This is our home. This is where we've been born and bred. We don't feel the need to bleach our skin. If you're dark skin, you're dark skin. If you're light skin, you're light skin. Again, we do suffer colorism, but this is not colorism. This is mental illness. Um, as you will see as you go on, as these people begin to stay here, you will see more and more situations occurring where these women will probably get more extreme with their need to be more white every day. And it literally starts to change their features. As you can see, this girl looks very young in the first photo. It doesn't seem like anything's wrong with her. But as you get to the second photo, it looks like it's aging her. And as you can see, her hair is blonde. They changed the hair to blonde. So I think they go from one extreme to the next. Of course, they start off trying to look maybe Black American, but I see their ultimate goal to me is to initially turn white. That's what I think they're trying to do. Um, and I think that, and this is what I don't like, this type of behavior tends to fall on the background of Black Americans. And Black American women do not feel the need, nor do we want to be white. I think as Black American women, when we have colorism in our community, I think Black American women just want to be treated equally. As a dark-skinned woman, brown-skinned woman, light-skinned woman, we just want to be treated equally within our community, and loved and respected the same way. I think we have different, in my opinion, this is my opinion, we have different standings in the Black American community from lightest to dark, but never to the point where I think we wanted just to get out here and bleach ourselves as Black American women to fit an image of anyone in society. Now, Black American women were forced to do certain things with our hair to make it straighter. But that's why we had to come out with a law, which was the Crown Act, to prevent certain things, but never where I think we actually wanted to bleach our skin to fit into certain aspects. Now, people who were white passing or lighter skin, they did get better jobs. I can see that. I understand this is what Africans and Caribbeans do say, but still never to the point that we wanted to still bleach our skin to get a better job. If anything, Black American women were determined, and we when they said we couldn't, whether you were dark skin, light skin, or brown skin, you just pushed harder to get in those positions. I don't know what this is. This is one of the reasons why Shay was saying we need to emergency delineate. I would like these creams banned from our country as they are banned in their country. I think that this should be treated like someone who is selling narcotics, because this has the same effects, damaging effects, as narcotics. It seems like they're hooked on this crap. Like someone is hooked on plastic surgery, they're hooked on bleaching creams, and these effects will lead to detrimental, they would either become very, very sick, or they would eventually they're going to lose their lives. And I don't think as a society in America we should be held accountable or responsible for this. We did not ask these people to come here and aspire to be white. This is what you're seeing. White, this culture did not inspire them to do this, because if that was the case, we as Black Americans should be even more inclined to bleach, since we've been exposed to whiteness the most. This to me is self-hate. And as Black American people, and especially Black American women, I don't want this around my daughters. I don't want this around my community. I don't want these women to even represent us in any way, fashion, or form. This is sick. This is the utter aspect of sickness. And I feel like as Black Americans, especially in America, we shouldn't have to take on this burden. These people need to figure it out in their own country and in their own culture, how to love their dark complexion. We did not, nor did American society impute this on them. Because if it did, we are the prime example that if anybody should have been susceptible to bleaching, it should have been Black Americans, and we don't do this. As you can see, you'll start seeing more products that they seem to be selling on the shelves. And it's like, they're trying to normalize it to our society, like by saying stuff like, oh, this is a problem in the Black community, until we started saying something about it, and started noting this is not a problem in the Black American community. This is a problem in the African community. This is a problem in the Caribbean community, or other communities that are not connected to us as Black Americans. It's another reason why we have to fight hard to get this type of behavior out of this country. It's like these people bring their problems and their degeneracy within our society, and it's like we're burdened with enough issues of our own. Now we have to continue with this. Wait a minute. I meant to ask Megan last night if she would drop. She may be watching in the clouds if she's not doing mommy time, K. But I never seen this. I was wondering, as Black Americans, I have never in all my life seen this type of degeneracy. And I don't like the fact that they equate this to colorism. This is not colorism. Africans and Caribbeans do not suffer from colorism. Black Americans may suffer from it because of what we have endured as a culture. That is our thing, and this is, and it's not even a stigma like this. This is ridiculous. I do get offended sometimes if you look at the features on these women. It's like you tend to wonder why Black American men and some Black American women are confused. And as you can clearly see, when they bleach like this, they probably put on more makeup, and you can see her skin looks irritated to me. More so than her, and looks like in the first picture you can clearly see that she probably was bleaching in that picture as well. They go through transitions, but you see the extreme of how far it goes. It is utterly disgustingly ridiculous. This tends to be one of the pictures that they tend to show a lot, because this one to me just shows the real excessiveness of how she went from dark to light in this picture. And this woman is married to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen her before. I think this is the one that's married to the European guy. And they talked about bad wigs and all that other kind of stuff that they also have. As you can see, a lot of times the bad wigs and the hairs tend to go along with the skin tone. But this is the stuff that we're being embarked with, as well as their vitriol that they have for us as a people. And again, Black American women have various skin tones, from the darkest of dark to the lightest of light. We have various features. We're just like we're mixed people, as they were saying, with all of those things that we're mixed with. Our look and our features are not one set. And I'm looking at the hair on one side and the hair on the other. Neither hair textures represent that of an African woman. And she's an African woman. It doesn't even, that wig, neither one of these wigs, Black American women probably would not even sport. So they do have a problem with wigs. I don't even know, this wig over on the right looks like something that you would put on a collie dog. It looks real crazy looking. But I can see that as they come into this country, the need for skin bleaching is going to get more extreme. I would say, as Black American women, teach our daughters about loving their skin tones. Continue to teach that, loving their hair textures. Continue to teach them about self-love. This is a clear example of self-hate, and I just want to note, as Black women, we should always, at this point, be real petty and pointing this out. This is not something that's a part of our culture. They're not our people. This is one of the things that really separates them from us. I don't think we should be responsible or held accountable for teaching them self-love. Coming from a country of primarily melanated people, I'm not understanding why they don't have this self-love at all when everybody's primarily the same skin tone. As you can clearly see, like Jonathan was saying on Megan's platform, they seem like they have more hate for themselves than love for themselves. So in that context, what are we supposed to do as Black Americans to teach them that? We have enough issues of our own as Black Americans. I can see where we can live by example and show them, but I think Black Americans don't have this as an excessive or an extreme way of being or living in our culture, especially as Black American women. This is a clear sign of mental illness, and they need to handle this from where they come from. And definitely, when you see these products in stores, maybe it needs to be called out. let it be known that these products should be illegal. The funny thing is, I'm kind of wondering, are these products even illegal here in America? Because a lot of stuff that's legal here tends to be legalized, tends to be legal here is unlegal, is not legal in other places. They can bleach all they want. They can bleach all, exactly, Sheena. They will never look like us. I just don't want to incur the health um issues that come from this. Because we have a healthcare system, I don't want this to ever be noted as something that they can utilize to get an SSI check or something like that. This is self-infliction on their own part. This is something that can be prevented. And they're trying to note this as a reason why they feel like colorism exists in their community. Colorism doesn't exist in your community. That to me is a farce. Maybe some people may say, oh no, colorism does exist. No, when everybody's basically all a heavy melanated skin, that how can it exist? You made this up. This is how sick they are. They made this up in their minds, because I guess this is how they view us as black and white Americans. They actually look crazy to me. It doesn't even, it looks so unnatural and disgusting. It's beyond ridiculous, and I don't even know why it should be allowed in the first place. And frankly, I don't care if they buy it in their country. I don't want to see this in our country as Americans, and definitely as black Americans. And I don't want this even initialized in our community where we get accused for this, because it's like everything they do, we get the backlash and the bullshit of how they tend to live and how the choices that they make. I feel some type of way as black Americans, because by them being such an older country, it does. It makes them look hideous. I would say that it makes them look worse. It makes it look, in New York City, the African salon. So yeah, I noticed that in hair salons they sell it. I don't know if it's even something that they're watching, but looking at the problem that's skyrocketing in Africa, these people incur some heavy health issues. That's my concern from this. They know it causes health issues, but they're selling the bullshit here. And I don't want to, we have enough with our own elderly and other people. Like we should, this should be against the law, and something should be done about this. If they want to bleach, go ahead and bleach, but don't bleach here, and it shouldn't be allowed to be sold here. And at first they was trying to say black American community, and as they keep trying to put on our skin and portray that they're black Americans, which they're not, and we're not Africans, I feel like this will be something that they will start to say, oh, in the black America, I don't like this, where this is heading. And I feel like we should call out every disgusting, despicable thing that they're doing, and basically bring it to attention of one of these are one of the reasons why we need to delineate, because we're not taking on this as a problem that is incurring on us because of prejudice or the system of white supremacy. White supremacy has nothing to do with these people skin bleaching, because they didn't have to come here. They could have stayed in their nations that are primarily melanated. They chose to come here and pick up this dastardly situation or practice. Actually, they were doing it in their own country. Now they're trying to bring it here, and you can't basically say, oh well, this is America, colonization caused this. No, I don't think so. If colonization or slavery and racism didn't cause us to bleach, this is self-inflicted harm. This is self-hate. So black Americans who have been exposed to the most extreme form of racism and brutality have not gone to the levels of bleaching. I don't see what their excuse is, and I don't want this put on us. Black American women shouldn't get the heat for this issue. It's an African woman. I agree 100%. But with everything that's going on, I'm getting sick and tired of a lot of these women bringing this up, of the reason why, because I see on a lot of things where they say this is why they do it, because of colorism, and they feel a certain type of way, and just the society caused them to do this to get better. This is not an issue that's an American issue, especially a black American issue. As women, I've never seen us go through this extreme. Yes, we do skin tone because we may have different blemishes that come through childhood or whatever situation that may happen with your skin. Your skin may be going through stuff, but we've never gone to the dastardly deeds of wanting to lay down and get in the tubs of bleach and take off our second layer of skin. We've never practiced this unhealthy way of living. Yes, we need to let it be known, Sheena, that they're not us. I wonder sometimes, since that's what their goal is, it's like, to me, oh, they do it because they wanted the attention of men. Oh, so what men do they want attention from? That would be the thing, because a lot of times Caucasoid men like darker women. So are they trying to get the attention of their men? Because a lot of them, when they come here, they tend to aspire to want to get up under whiteness. Most white men like darker skinned women. Well, I could be speaking. That's what I see them with. So I'm not going to speak for a white man, but that's what I see. But this is what we're going to start seeing a lot more as they integrate into our culture. White men, but a lot of white men don't like this type of skin tone. If they want to keep the skin tone, they'll go with white women. That's the crazy stuff about it. It's like they're weird. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I say, as Black American women, it's like we gotta. I think so too. A lot of them love to skin bleach. They love this. It's like they make it. I've seen on different things, and I say urge Black American women to look it up. Look at how it's like they use this as a skin regimen. When I'm looking at a lot of them, they like my daily skin regimen. I'm like, this is not a skin regimen. A skin regimen is something to make your skin healthier, more vibrant. Bringing out the better tones and the better, taking care of the skin that you have. They take this as like, this is a beauty regimen. It's the weirdest thing. That's what I'm noticing. That's what I was saying, Somali. A lot of men don't, especially if they're of the Caucasoid community, don't want this. That's why I said it has become like something where they want to, I don't know. Are they aspiring to be white? Because that's what I'm looking at. Because this girl looked perfectly fine in the first picture, and now she looks like, I don't even know. It looks horrible. So it doesn't make them look better. It makes them look worse. And it looks like she was just naturally beautiful from the first side. I would say she's probably Caribbean. So it goes to show this is a Caribbean. It doesn't look natural. It looks very unnatural, and it looks very unseemly, and I'm looking at if you look up the health issues that are the cause, because some of these products have mercury and other chemicals that you could not imagine, that should not even be on the human skin, much less inhaled. And these women put this on, and your skin is your first layer of, your body, how your body. I don't know. Yeah, they look like they're heading into the form of being someone that's albino. I don't know. It's just weird. And it starts to affect the eyes, the liver, the heart. It starts to affect different things. So as Black Americans, I don't think we will ever pick up this habit, but I don't want this attributed to us in any way, fashion, or form. And I don't want this to be carried on our back as a responsibility to be understanding about it, because you coming from a primarily melanated society, I cannot wrap my head around it. I don't have no sympathy or empathy for it, because if we as Black Americans can overcome the premise of racism to the point that we didn't want to skin bleach, I don't understand what this is. So I do believe as Black Americans, yes, we have colorism in our community, because we do have naturally from the lightest of light to the darkest of dark. But I've never seen it where we felt the need as a darker skinned woman. Oh, I'm going to go bleach because I'm jealous of, or I want to look like a light skinned woman. No, we've never done that. And I don't believe that will be something that will be practiced in our community. But I do not want it around the our children to come, because these people are here, and I don't want no influence of this negative bullshit to pass on to our children. This is where I'm at with this whole thing. It looks a mess. Hey, Ray Ray. Hi, Ray Ray.
Oh,
If
I
you
think I got my YouTube going. I'm supposed to mute YouTube, right?
Yeah, mute YouTube. Yeah, I don't want the younger generations to think that this is normalized, which I don't think we will have a problem, but I'm not going to take nothing for granted. Like I said, I've been seeing these products here for since they've been arriving, and I've seen them in the braiding salons and stuff like that. But as our, we have as some of them are allowed to stay and they merge into our society as they are doing now. I think this is something that we need to, as mothers, talk to our daughters about in specifics, to let them know that this right here is mental illness and they just sick in the brain. This is self-hate. To the fullest. I've never seen no bullshit like this. It's utterly ridiculous. But I would say for Black American women, look on their pages. They utilized it as this is some form of skin regimen. And I'm like, this is not a skin regimen. You heifers about to kill yourself. I'm about to delete yourselves out. It makes no sense.
Hey Trina.
Okay, so hey, Ray Ray.
Hey, I just wanted to drop some numbers on you right quick, right? So they're saying
Okay.
2024, they're expecting Africa to spend $31.2 billion in the skin bleaching industry. And then
Wow.
let me tell you right here from 2011, the WHO said 40% of African women skin bleach. And let me drop the numbers on you: 77% in
Wow.
Nigeria, 59%
Mm,
in Togo, 35% in South Africa, and
mm.
25% in Mali. So, what I know a little bit about this is that in Nigeria, they begin to do this because they were prostituting and they found that more men, would pay for their services the lighter they were.
Okay.
So, it started out there. Now, today, I don't know, like you said, they were doing it because they wanted the attention of men to gain husbands, rather,
Mm-hmm.
and just to get the attention, I think too, of Black American men. I think they want Black American men too, and they see that some Black American men prefer a lighter woman.
Yeah. And they
So
said that they were doing it over there because of jobs. So I was like, okay, that's what you do there. Is that's sad, but it is what it is. But yeah, I could say when they reach America, it could be to get Black American men or other melanated men who are African or Caribbean. I can see that happening. But at first I did know Ray Ray like a Black American. I said and I was glad that more Black American women got up and said we don't skin bleach. We've been in America all our lives, over 500 years, from the darkest of dark to the lightest of light. We don't do this type of bullshit. If you dark, you just dark. If you light, you light. We do have our colorisms and our issues, but even with all of that happening, I don't see how they can use this as a form of colorism. So now I see what you're saying. They do this to get services, as per se, because I think even white men don't want nothing like this. They want something that's darker. That's what I'm saying. I'm not speaking for white men, but what I'm seeing with white men, when they do pick women from whether it's a Black American or any melanated community, they find the darkest one they can find. So I couldn't figure out what was their whole spiel to do this. So now, looking at now as they enter America, it does make sense. You have a lot of Black American men here, as well as other men, so who may like lighter skin tones, who are maybe from other communities. This is maybe why they do it, but I don't blame this on colorism per se. What do you think?
yeah, I definitely agree. It's to get men. It's to get the attention of men, white men, and Black American men, and also they tattoo their lips. That started in Nigeria as well. And the men were doing that. They would go to these barbershop like
Mhm.
settings and they would go get their lips tattooed. So I don't know. It's just they're just different people to me. I don't understand them at all. I don't
Me
understand
either.
their tradition. I don't understand it, and I hate when I get confused for being them.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
where that's where I'm at. I just want, and I'm not saying all, but the majority of this type of behavior, I don't feel as Black Americans or America we should have to deal with this. This is something that they need to deal with in their own country. That's what I'm feeling, and it may be hateful to say that, or not nice to say, but I'm feeling like it should be a barrier for stuff like this. This is bringing problems This is problems. And they'll sit and say, oh, we suffer from racism and colorism. This has nothing to do with racism and colorism. This seems like you have a self-hate for oneself. And I just can't understand it. I was trying to wrap my head around it, but I'm kind of getting out of it. If you come from a primarily melanated country, I'm just not understanding how this is such a massive thing. Like all of you there are darker skin or of darker hues. So I'm not seeing how this can run so rampant there. How are we not affected by this? And we suffer racism and colorism in America because of white passing and different things, and we were separated because of our skin tones or whatever. How did this behavior not affect us? I'm just trying to understand, trying to elaborate on it. What do you think, Ray? Why did it affect us? How did we surpass going this far? How did it not affect us in the way that I don't even understand this shit? To be honest, I just can't. Why do you think we weren't affected?
I think we've conquered so many struggles, like we've had so many battles, that skin complexion wasn't a big thing to us. Like, we got ranked about it or whatever, but I just like, I agree with you. I don't think that we took it serious and took it to heart like that. And they don't do anything without cause. So I do believe, they feel like it's going to benefit their life in some kind of way by doing this. The same way like they make the money sacrifices where they sacrifice people and things like that. I think they really feel like if they bleach themselves, life is going to be better for them. I really believe that. But why it didn't affect us, like I said, we've been through so much to let a skin, tone really like affect us mentally like that.
So I will have to say in our community, we do suffer stuff like with colorism, but colorism is, I would have to agree with BB. It's not an issue like that for us as Black Americans. When you see stuff like this is off the chain. That's what I was like. And the pictures that I was getting, I was trying to get more, and it was like never ending. I'm like, so they're bringing that stuff here. I'm like, oh, hell to the nah. We don't want this mess over here. I'm not trying to see this walking around.
Did you see the bumps? Did you see them bumpy? What it looks like when they go without it? How they get those rashes and those bumps all over them and stuff?
I seen it when I went to my nail salon, and the girl's face had bumps all around the cheeks and around her nose and lip area. It looked like it was irritated. It was starting to turn red. And she was walking around like she looked like the most beautiful thing. And I'm saying to myself, like, yo, sis, your face is like jacked. You need to go get some help, because I'm looking like I don't know. But they seem like they do it on a daily basis. I think it's a daily process that they have to do. And then you got to see how they got to go to get the knuckles on their the knuckles and on their hands and their toes and their knees and their elbows. It starts to look crazy. And I remember on one of these podcasts that was a Nigerian podcast, he said it's so bad that they used to do just their face and their body would be a totally separate color. So this process costs a lot of money. I know it happens in the Caribbeans too, that sometimes they'll go without eating properly to buy these products because the products cost so much, and they don't use just one product. They use a multiple array of products, and it's like they'll mix them. And one girl mixed these two products together, and I don't know if the chemicals did not merge well. It started like smoking, and it blew up the container that it was in. And this chick was still trying to wait for it to cool down to put it on. And I'm sitting there like, is she crazy? And this was in Jamaica. I was like, oh my God. It was off. They go through extreme lengths. It's like it's an addiction, like someone is on some type of narcotics. That's what I compare it to. If you see how they do it, like it's a regimen, it's like their routine that they call it like a beat. And look at the hair and the wigs, and I'm like, oh my, I'm just finding out that they're doing the lip tattooing. That does probably look like what she's doing here. But you can see the irritation happen around her eyes, her nose, and you can see her neck. This is gonna end bad for this lady. You can see it, how it's
Yeah,
just
we definitely shouldn't end up holding the bag for this. Absolutely
mm-mm.
not. And it's skin cancer, a lot of things are associated. That's going to be too expensive for us.
Yep, it's going to happen after they can lose their sight. Not to mention if they have children with mental issues because they're taking these pills. This is the stuff I'm saying as America. We should not have to incur these costs because this person has self-hate that was not implemented on them by America because they didn't have to come here. They're doing this. I'm glad you named those numbers. I want you to name them again. I'm glad you named those numbers because it shows that they're not doing that here. They're doing this in their own country where it's primarily melanated people. So this is not an American problem. It's like we get saddled with all kinds of issues. I think this is going to be a good thing. Why delineation should be pushed, urgent delineation, and number two, why a lot of these people don't need to be in this country in the first place. This is off the chain. So I would say talk with our daughters, definitely talk with our sons. I don't think men go through this with skin bleaching like that, but definitely get to our daughters and let them know this is self-hate. We should have a name for this. I say it's self-hate. Self-hate, mental illness, and I was looking at her and it was so strange. I'm looking at her like this chick thinks she looks good. In her mind, you had to see her, Ray Ray. Her face was like a goddamn strawberry, and it looked like it was just like she was having a skin reaction, but and she was smiling like this shit looked good. That's when I was like, you. I'm looking at her like you look a mess, but she was smiling like she looked amazing. To them, I think they look good when they look in the mirror and see this shit. I don't get it.
Mhm. That proximity to whiteness.
Yes. Like,
Mhm.
So I would say as Black American women, we are a strong race of women. We have our issues, we have our struggles, we have our battles. But I thank God that even though America has done some traumatizing stuff to us, looking at where they're coming from, I don't think we miss nothing by not being bred and born in Africa. This is all the more reason why we can self-proclaim we are definitely not African in any way, fashion, or form. We can't, as a people, even wrap our head around this. We're not African nor Caribbean. I think that's what a lot of Black American women ask. Like, you coming from a place where you're melanated and y'all don't love y'all skin. This is like off the chain. It's crazy. So when they say to us, we want to be more white. Oh, your mom's experimented with skin bleaching. That's what somebody was saying. No, we never knew that as Black American girls. You were just dark skinned. You were dark skinned. You were light. You were light. It. We didn't go through this. We went through other things. This was not something that was something for us. I think the most we've seen any person do skin bleaching, and he even had a mental illness. It was Michael Jackson, but I don't think Michael was skin bleaching. He had impetigo, so he had a skin disorder, and as well as other things that he was going through being a celebrity. But even with that, as a collective, we as Black Americans don't have time for this. This is not a part of our culture. I don't think it ever will be. But as Black American women, I am so glad that we're not having these issues. These chicks are too much for me. They're too much in every way, fashion, or form. And and to not to be even more precise, they can't stand light skinned women. That's another thing that I noticed with these women. They don't. You would think they would relate to lighter skinned women, but they don't like lighter skinned women. It's weird. They come against them in different ways. My daughter experiences it with her skin tone when she's around them.
Well, now you know why. If she's watching this and you talk to her about this, you know why. Because they're
Mm-hmm.
jealous.
Size the hell out of them. Yeah, Black Americans did get. We did say something about Michael Jackson, criticize the hell out of Michael Jackson. Yes. I don't know if Michael was skin bleaching per se. Do you think he was skin bleaching or do you think he did have impetigo? Sometimes I wonder.
I don't know. I never saw any bumps. He never looked at rashy or
No,
anything.
he
So I don't know
didn't.
if he had the vertigo or not.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
vitiligo. That's what it was, vitiligo. I think
Yeah.
he did have vitiligo because it would look like that. Because that's what they have, a pinkish looking skin color. He did
Hmm.
look pinkish, and it was like, and it can go very fast on the skin. So I'm gonna accuse Michael a little something, something. I would say he probably did. That's something that has happened in the community, and as a celebrity, I can see him hiding it and going to extremes to hide it. So
And then you know what too? When he was a teenager, he had really bad acne.
yes, he did.
And sometimes those acne medications too tend to have a little bleaching, ingredients
Hmm.
inside.
In it,
So
and then and that could, somebody from that community could have introduced him to stuff to lighten his skin and have him look more in tone or whatever. I know one thing, black Americans, and I've seen celebrities, not black Americans as a whole. I seen where black Americans did like plastic surgery because Michael did have a wider nose. Like as did Stephanie Mills and Patti LaBelle. I did see them do nose jobs when they had bigger noses or something like that. But outside of that, I haven't seen black Americans go through an extreme with skin bleaching per se. But doing plastic surgery, nose jobs, yeah, but that's, it still stayed primarily in the celebrity community because they're on stage, they have a presence to do. But that, even with that, that's deep too. That didn't affect us, where black Americans didn't go around and say, "Oh, I have a big nose. Let me get my nose done." That's something about us. We didn't even. I'm looking at it now with all of the stuff that we did go through with all of these different cultures and all of these different pressures on our looks and our features. It's weird. We didn't succumb to this. That's a plus one for us, especially as black women. If you're a darker hue in our community, we catch it, and the men caught it, but black American women really do catch it, and I think we had to. We're still learning how to navigate self pride and saying we're black and beautiful, and just accepting who we are, because a lot of us, we've come to the realization that shit, whether we dark or light, we are beautiful women. We're learning that, and we have learned that, to be prideful in the way that you look as a darker skinned woman, brown skinned woman, or a lighter skinned woman. I'm glad we didn't succumb to it this bad.
yes, me too. That's really sick. I think we have bigger issues.
Yeah,
They weren't looking to fight their colonization. We were fighting white supremacy. So
exactly.
I think we have bigger issues. Thank God.
Thank God. And this is not one of our issues, but I would say call it out. Make sure you spread it throughout the community. And maybe we need to go to Congress, as if Trump gets in, to get these beauty products, as they call them, or these bleaching creams, banned in the US. If they want to go get it, go and get it from another country, or get out. Matter of fact, get out of this country with doing this nonsense. I don't want this to incur on us. I can just see when they're taking bleaching cream pills, what kind of kids, we already got kids with issues. What kind of mess is this gonna bring up, where we have to deal with these kids coming up in our school system because you're so vain about your skin tone or the skin tone of your child. Now you're taking bleaching pills. This elevates to a higher level. This is all the more reason why immigration should be sought to be revitalized. When you take on these people, you take on all kinds of issues that they have that need to stay in their country as a collective. This is becoming, sounds like to me, Ray Ray, as a phenomenon. We don't need this here
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
any group of immigrant, from none of them. So this is all the more reason why they need to roll on up out of here
Hmm.
and get
They
on
need
up
to
with.
send psychologists down at that border to find out what the heck is going on with these people. You know?
Mm-hmm. So that was my comment on that. But what's new? We're gonna change up the subject because we already talked about that. What's been going on in New York, Ray Ray?
It's a mess in New York right now. It is a mess. We don't know what Eric Adams is going to do. He don't know what he want to do. He want to run a turkey probably because he likes going there.
He goes,
Corrupt. We had Yeah, he's in under investigation for that. His campaign funding
mm-hmm.
that came from Turkey, they're looking at that because they're saying some companies from Turkey got some perks, and they're trying to
Hmm.
connect, to those perks and different things like that. So that's under investigation. Now we got the projects. They just arrested, I think, about 70 people who have been participating in these contractual schemes where they're doing, bids on the side. The work is not getting done, but these guys are collecting money. So they arrested a slew of them. About 60 or 70 of them have been arrested. And I don't know, it's been going on for 10 years. So I think we're about to see a whole bunch of people start snitching, and some people from the top y'all might see falling down. You
Oh my
know?
God. It's
Yeah.
like everything is falling apart all at once.
Yeah, it
Which
is.
is a good thing.
It's
It's a good thing because we need to know what's going on. But to me, this immigration thing is not just what voting. I think this was pre-planned, and in some sense, in my opinion, I would honestly say that both sides are acting complacent on it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's true, and it was planned. It's called the Global Compact, and you can find
Mhm,
that on the United Nations website. It was planned, and the thing is to keep allowing people to come in until all the resources are depleted, and you end up like Venezuela. In Venezuela, if you go back and look at Venezuela, they were a very wealthy country. They were
mhm,
fine. They didn't need any help or anything like that. So what happened was they got this president, and somehow he got in. They voted for somebody else and he stayed, Maduro. So
mhm.
he ended up getting involved in all these social programs until they had nothing left. Now, if you live in Venezuela, in order for you, well, you have to decide whether you want to eat or wipe your ass.
Hmm?
A roll of tissue can cost you $10 to $15. A roll of tissue, toilet paper, can
Right.
cost you $15. A hot dog is about the same amount. One hot dog. Forget the drink.
Mm.
So they out there, they living crazy out there. The hospitals look like whatever. They
Correct.
have, the last time I checked, they had one IV bag, and they're treating patients with the one IV bag. This is how it gets under this globe.
What?
Yeah. Trina,
That's
look it up.
dangerous. That's dangerous because you can't put the IV from another person into another person. Ain't that kind of dangerous? Maybe I don't know medical stuff. Don't you?
That's all they have. Yeah. Yeah. People can get sepsis from that. But
I was
that's
hearing
all they
that they have to bring their own sheets and their own
have. Yeah.
supplies when they come to the hospital.
Yep. And
So
it's the
these are
stuff
the people that we have here now. Those people
that's
are running from that to
that's
here.
why they acting like that. These are the people who had to break up in the zoo to eat. So in a way, I feel sorry for them because I don't think Venezuelans are as racist towards us as like the other groups that are already here in New York City and the other ones that are coming. And the only reason I'm saying that is because when Haiti was in trouble, they gave Haiti the most money.
Mm,
So I'm like, for them to do that, then they must not view darkness as being, a curse. And there are dark Venezuelans over there. So the only
right.
reason I would, maybe give them a pass, but everybody else could check up out of here. You know what I'm
So
saying? That
what's
they
up with
need.
them?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wonder what's up with them in the Hondurans because they was getting that junk on. They were saying Hondurans
That's
and Venezuela.
Mexico. They have been getting it in Mexico for a while. Like when this first started in Mexico, they were fighting. It was something, man. I'm so happy I paid attention to all of it because it was really so they were fighting when they were in those tents back in what that city everybody go to? Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting back there. I don't know what it's about. But it's not this big blanketed unity that everybody thinks that they have. It's not. They're different. The cultures are different. They have gangs. So man,
Hmm.
oh man.
Mm. So we gonna have all of them coming over here with their issues.
Yeah, they're
He was saying,
everybody.
somebody said, "Are you the sister from the Twitter space?" Ray Ray, are you the sister from the Twitter space? That's what Somali
No.
was asking.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm on X, but I'm not. I don't know if I used to do Ray Ray the awareness channel. That's why a lot of people don't like me on here. But I used to do
Oh,
Ray Ray the awareness channel. So
why you stopped doing it? Because you were saying a lot of controversial stuff.
Yeah, and they were shadow banning me. They were shadow banning my.
Oh,
I got
you
a
was
lot of
talking
views.
too much truth. You was talking too much truth.
Too
You was
much.
uploading too much stuff. That's where the problem came up as.
That's where it came up.
Mm-mm.
So
I'm looking at when we talk about the globalist situation. I hope this don't get us in trouble if it do. Oh well. It does seem like every day is just something new. Now, the issue, I didn't even know a lot of officers, not only did they get attacked in New York City, something happened in another city as well where officers were getting attacked by immigrants. Now, by no means am I condoning officers getting attacked, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm overly concerned as well because of the brutality that we tend to experience as Black Americans. Um, I may be a little mean for saying this. If it's going to overwhelm and get erupt, I pray that that draws the attention from us as Black Americans. And I think as Black Americans, we need to take this opportunity to go home, as you would say, gray man, as they try to sort this out. Because a lot of times, because of our position here in America, everybody always tends to come against us, even though they may be rallying against one another. I don't want these groups to come against us as a people. So I feel like what Megan was saying when she was on that spot, look the other way. We're not involved. Keep your head up and keep moving. Make sure your paperwork and everything is straight because I do believe once Trump gets in, if Trump gets in, I hope Americans, particularly Black Americans, don't think that the situation is going to be um, better. In my opinion, it's going to go from one extreme to the next. We're like, it's not going to be no in between. Like right now, they're just letting everybody run in, run amok, do whatever. And I feel like this clause and this type of plan that they're doing because they're showing it on the news, they're showing it on social media. I think they're gearing this up to embark on what you would say a globalist takedown to say this is the reason why they have to initialize martial law or something. What do you think? That's what I think they're setting it up for. Because
yeah,
however they got to get them out of here, it's going to have to be extreme. But go ahead, Ray Ray.
yeah, they wanted martial law, but we haven't given it to them, which is great. Which is
Right.
great. I'm glad the American people that we holding on and we not giving it because if we go under martial law, it's a wrap. So we don't
And
want to go on.
we don't. But I think that's why they showing this stuff because you notice when they was having all of these young men getting brutalized by the police and different things happening, we would go out and march and some others came behind us when we had peaceful marches and be tearing up stuff. I think they was trying to initialize it then, but it didn't work out. Like how you were saying, they didn't get it from us. But now they showing you bring these people. They're showing themselves bringing these people here, coming in an influx, just tearing up stuff, going into people's neighborhoods. Like they keep showing all of the negative, but then they want to say in the same token, let's help the migrants. Then they giving them all of this money unjustifiably. It's just a whole lot of nonsense. So I feel like they're waiting for that one thing that can break their string to get excessive on the other side. That's what I feel like they're doing. It's like this smells real funky to me. This smells like both sides. How you say one bird, two different wings, but they flying together. Um, I don't feel like either side Black Americans should aspire to. Will I vote? Yes, because I do want a lot of these immigrants out of here. But am I trustworthy of each side? Like how Black Americans, I'm Trump, Trump is to say. I don't think Black Americans need to look at it like this. I think we need to be more open minded, not just on a political level, but on a global level. Open your mind and just don't be like how you say one track minded. This is more than just an election. This is something else that's far bigger than an election. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
voting is not going to be my answer. But what was you saying, Ray Ray?
no, no, I totally agree with you. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm an independent. And Trump wasn't a politician. That's why I really go for Trump because he came in to drain the swamp. He came
Right.
in, didn't have to do anything that he did. He could have just stayed in his life. And I know people hear him say it, but it's the truth because he
Yep.
got himself in a lot of trouble trying to take down Hillary and trying to get a lot of them people out of there. That's why they on
Yep.
him.
Yep.
And now you see Joe Biden is crazy and all. Kaiser Soze, he's gonna do whatever he can because he has committed treason.
Mm-hmm.
He's committed
They,
treason. Trump
they
called
said
us Irish.
they said it's something because of what no, I mean, what's his name, Hunter Biden did something. Hunter Biden did, and they got him over a barrel. And he
Yeah,
did what?
Hunter Biden did a lot. Hunter Biden was down with this company called Burisma that's out in Ukraine, and he got a lot of money from there, and favors were done, and it's all under investigation. It's all been exposed. A lot of it has been exposed, and it's still under investigation. But he's in
Mm-hmm.
trouble. He got money from China. They're still trying to figure out why he got all this money from China. So they are in trouble. So now you see Joe Biden getting worse and worse and worse, right?
Mm-hmm. And he said
I
something off the chains where he compared Gaza to something. He compared Gaza to something, and now they're trying to clean it up because it sounds real off. What he
I,
said, he
I
compared
forgot.
Gaza to Ukraine or something, I think. And I was like, what?
Yeah, he said they share borders or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And I
Mm.
didn't believe it. I was like, is he going? I would say what Clay is saying. Going forward, we need to pay attention to global politics, not just American politics, global. And we need to be
Absolutely.
independent as a group. We're not loyal to any group because Republican or Democrat, neither party is for us. So as a collective, Black Americans need to be independent. Pay attention to what's going on, not just here in this country, but abroad. Because America is not a country set aside to itself. We do participate in a lot of stuff outside of here that causes the downfall and rising of a lot of countries. Where in this country has its hand in a whole feet, neck into a whole lot of bullshit. So we should not just pay attention to what's going on here in America. Black Americans need to be self-aware of what's going on globally because what's going on globally does affect us as a country. And now we have been opened up so wide, you might as well say we are a global border because everything is coming through there besides Venezuelans, Hondurans, and Hispanics. Everything is coming through those borders, and they coming through at a massive rate, day in and day out. And they're not just coming through the border; they got scenic routes. They coming the scenic route, which is the route that's less Hey, Eslavarian, which is the route that's less hostile. They come in by boat. They come in by plane. They come in the Rough Rider route, which is where the Venezuelans and them come from. They come in every which way. So everybody's looking at the border. That's a distraction. They're coming in every way, fashion and form, and they're here. And a lot of things are happening. Another thing Shay was playing earlier is that Black American women need to be mindful because the uptick in women trafficking, and I'm concerned about Black American women, is at
Mm.
an all-time high. Be mindful when you going shopping because they said they following women when they going shopping. They following you when you go to your car. Be careful because a lot of times we tend to be. I know me. I just be walking like Lottie D. I've gotten better with being aware of the environment around me. I learned that from my girlfriend because she was like, "You need to be mindful of how people move. Be mindful of new people that's in your neighborhood and your community. Be mindful when you going shopping. That you going to get your groceries, but park as close to the store as possible." If you see a car there with tinted windows or whatever the case may be that's parked next to your car, be mindful of that. Don't just put your hand inside of your car door. Unlock it and make sure you have something to touch those car doors because sometimes they put stuff on there to like knock you the hell out. Be mindful if your car is marked. It's like a lot of stuff that we didn't have to watch out for. It's like now you gotta watch out for all of this crazy shit because this country is no longer just black and white primarily. It's other people here now with ill intent. And a lot of times you figure that you don't look a certain way, but to other men from other cultures who haven't seen the like of our beauty, they get a little off the chain. And you got to start telling your daughters to be mindful too. Even some elderly women got to be watchful, because it's like you don't know what they coming here for. But they said a lot of women are getting picked up, just doing their everyday, day to day, going to work, coming home, going shopping, going to the hair salon, going where we doing our everyday errands. Watch out for yourself and definitely watch out for your little girls and your little boys and your children in general. It's like, to me, I feel like America is done as we've known it. it's changing so fast, and I feel like in a lot of ways it's like I'm hoping we adjust quickly, but a lot of us are still like in la la land. It's like I feel like sometimes, I don't know about you, I can't believe this is happening. It feels like we're in another dimension. That's why I call myself Clarity Dimensions, because it's like I still can't believe what's going on around me. It's like I can't grasp that. What the fuck? That's what I feel like. It's just so much going on all the time. You don't have enough time to breathe. Since 2019, when that situation happened, when we were in lockdowns, it's like we've never been the same ever since. And no sooner you grasp one thing, here comes something else. It's like never ending. Like we got to just watch out for everything. It's off the chain. But I'm not saying get yourself so engulfed that you overstress yourself, but we got to do something. We got to change our mindset and move at a different pace.
You are so right, Trina. We have not even had a moment. A lot of us need therapy. A lot of us lost friends and people. We have not had a goddamn moment since COVID. You are so right. And I was thinking, I
Mm-hmm.
be saying that all the time to my kids, like, we haven't had a moment. It's just been chaotic.
Not a moment to breathe at all.
Man, but yep, that trafficking is real. The trafficking is very real. And yep, they riding around in these cars and they following you. I had a dude snap picture behind me today. It's my fault because my skirt was kind of short or whatever. And it just didn't dawn on me. I'm just like going to the store. I'm going to get what I
Mm-hmm.
want. I'm not thinking, but a little African dude. And I know he just got here because I look at how he was dressed. Very
Mm-hmm.
ashy looking, scully on. Yeah, they've been here for a while. They might get a little North Face coat. They try to blend in with New Yorkers or whatever. But when
Mm-hmm.
people get here, they look weird. And so I'm like, yeah, see, he going around snapping pictures behind people and stuff like that. I don't know where that's gonna end up at,
That's
but
so
it is.
odd. That's something that black men I don't think do.
No, he was definitely African.
That is
Definitely.
weird. Ew. Like he ain't never seen a behind before. They off the chain. S.
Yeah.
Lavardian Kay wanted to know, do you experience that African women treat you a certain way because of your lighter skin complexion? S. Lavardian may not see them, but what's your statement to that, S. Lavardian? I don't think they see a lot of Africans in New Orleans, Kay. They wouldn't see them like that. Hey Somali, good evening, everyone. I don't think well do a lot of lighter skinned women. Do you experience anything different with them on Ray Ray if you there? Because you light
Yeah,
skinned is different.
African. I'm a dark skinned woman. I'm not a light skinned woman, but I'm a confident American woman, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't like that. They don't like confident black American women. They're so used to, you have to have a husband, you have to be, a certain way with them. They're just bred differently. They're bred to be subservient. They're bred not to really have strong opinions and things like that. The man dominates everything. And I'm an American woman. We have our own, perspectives. We have our own ways of earning or whatever. And it's just different. We're different. So I find myself coming to head with some of them because I don't like their snooty attitude. And when you come to me like that, I'm going to give you worse. Give me respect. I give you respect.
Now I
So
would
yeah.
say for me as a Shay, I just muted you because I was hearing a noise background. Unmute yourself when you want to talk. I feel like our dark skin and their dark skin is not the same. So because I was saying with me, I feel like I'm dark skinned, but when I was talking to an African guy, he was like, "No, you're not dark skinned, you're brown skinned." Um, and looking at them when I saw something on I think it was Mike TV, someone's his podcast. The woman was saying you're yellow, but only thing that was yellow on the woman was her headband. She wasn't yellow; she was darker than me. So I don't think we have no real conscious of, which I don't want to get too much of their skin bleaching issues and their skin tone issues. I think they think all of us, because we are mixed as a culture and as a people, we're all to them white. I've heard them say that. When I was in college, I've heard Africans say black Americans are white. And I was like, no, we're not, we're black. But see, that's how you show that we've been that's how we can tell we've been living in a bubble, and we've been living with white people all our lives, that we don't see anything said different with our colors. We'll know that Keisha light, Tanya's a brown skin, this one dark skin. But even with that, we haven't really gone into depth. We just know that sometimes, like black men, by majority, they like maybe lighter skinned women, but there are black men who like darker skinned women. But I think their light skin and dark skin is different from what we see. So to you, you may be a dark skinned woman, but to them, you may be a lighter skinned woman. You know what I'm saying? They weird. And I think that's why when Shay was telling me when she was up in there too, seeing her skin tone, I said that's why they probably treated you a certain way, because Shay, to me, Shay is brown, but to them, Shay may have been really, really light. You know what I'm saying? They weird. They're really weird with it. I think they're jealous of us as a collective, as Black American women. Um, and they are here to be white. I mean, I don't know. I see, as I see more of these people come in every day, it's just like they're more and more, like my mom was saying, very primitive in mindset on how they handle stuff. They're mentally like in a different space. Not they're definitely never, they will never be Americanized. Their tribalism, their jealousy, their way of thinking is, you can see all of this on why they are a failed country. And for us to go backwards to try to understand it when that was something that we never dealt with, it's like I ain't getting this. But I'm gonna tell you this, I really don't want to deal with it, and it's probably best that you go back where you come from and you figure it out over there. That's where I'm at with it, because they just doing too much for me with everything that's going on. And then seeing all of this other crazy stuff going on, like when they do, like how you say, money rituals, by removing a woman's breast and taking out of her vaginal area. All of this stuff is like, what the hell? This is like off the chain. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like we're being thrown all of this, what can I say? All of this crazy shit all at once. That's the way I feel. You see that the crimes, we've always had crimes in America, but now you're seeing stuff like man and woman deletes another man and takes them apart and put them in their freezer, and woman and daughter delete grandmom and put her on the grill. Man walking down the street with a head pot, a head in the pot, just off the chain shit. And we're like, what the hell is this? It's like we've entered into a whole nother dimension of goddamn craziness. Like someone said, we're like in, what's the name of it? That movie, what was Gotham? It's like America has become Gotham. I don't know if anybody has seen this. Like the very elements and the smell of where you live at has changed. It's like every place now to me always seems dismal. Like it's about to rain. It's like even when it's sunny, it just does not seem like it's sunny. It's like the very mood and the atmosphere has changed. I was looking online, and I was just showing, like looking at different places to see what it looked like. And I was watching different podcasts where they're showing stuff outside. California, New York, Philly, Chicago, all of them look the same. It looked dismal. Like we're caught into an alternate universe that looks just so dreary. That's what I feel like. It's almost depressing. I would say as Black American women, try not to sit in that mode of depression, because a lot of people may be going through different things. If you have someone to talk to someone. Do not let yourself go down to the point that you just go in, because you don't want to do anything that's harmful to yourself or anyone else, but definitely not to yourself. Find a way to get lifted up. Talk to someone if you can talk to someone. Get yourself out of that space. It's okay to be there for a moment to reflect, but then get out of that space if it's too dismal. I'm saying that not just to y'all, but to myself, because with the way things are going, depression, I feel like is a very strong emotion amongst a lot of Black American women. And a lot of us as Black American women, we won't say anything about it. We don't go to therapy or anything, but talk to someone. Get out of that space. Do not marinate in that space. But what's up, Shay?
What's up? How y'all doing tonight? This evening? Well, oh, there's so much going on. I'm just checking out different apps that you can log on to. Somebody invited me to an app, but I don't want to share it yet. But I know they um they got some serious stuff going on. Meaning that they putting up some things that you're always censored or block or be on punishment when you're on Facebook, YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
the other apps. There's a lot of apps. Now they got some new stuff coming up where you could just put anything on,
Mhm.
and you won't be boycotted, so to speak.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's what I was just doing, just filling, playing with it because I just got an invite. So there's a lot of serious things going on that's not even on YouTube. So it's on
Mhm.
different apps and it's private,
Mhm.
because even if you could put something on YouTube for like 5 minutes and they could flag it and take it off just that quick.
Hmm.
So
So it's
they're
like they're censoring.
improving. Go ahead.
It's like they're censoring speech.
Yep.
Mm.
Which is really supposed to be illegal in this country. I
Mhm.
don't know if somebody started a lawsuit, a group of YouTubers or content creators in the public can start a lawsuit. I know one Indian man, um, Hindustan man, who's a professor. He started a lawsuit against Twitter of how he was censored and being spied on, and he won his case.
Mm.
He's also a Trump supporter too. So,
Mm.
and I used to go on. I was in his group for a couple of years, so I gotta see what he's doing. But I'm saying he started a petition though. Also, he started a couple of petitions, so we could do the same thing
Well,
and just keep pushing it.
I know they were brought to the Senate floor or the Congress floor. It was the CEO of Google, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that's one that just happened recently, the most recent one.
Yeah, they're being
They're
brought up
always on the Senate floor and Congress floor, but they
talking
did have
about,
something just recently
yeah,
around
something
what
about
they're
it being a danger to children. Children
right. That's
who
right.
with themselves because of stuff that was on these platforms and them not. So I think they're using that as a mode to censor everyone else. When they clearly ask you, I know on YouTube they ask you, "Is this for children?" and you click, yes or no or whatever. But it looks like they are pushing forward to try to like use that as a means to censor a lot of things. And we know the first ones they're gonna try and censor is us. So I think we need to be mindful of that and get in spaces where they are not doing that censoring and find ways to get around where we can communicate to each other vital information, because it looks like that's what they're moving down the pike to do. And they always gonna take aim at us as Black Americans versus Black Americans are always the true ones who are against white supremacists or white deviant ideologies that comes against us in particular. Um, But yeah, we have, it's like I was saying to Ray, it's like everything is changing so fast. We haven't had a chance to to even recover. I don't think we even still, many of us have not recovered that from what happened when 2019 came in, when we had them lockdowns. It's been a never ending bombardment of just stuff. Some people are experiencing stuff more than others, but it's like never ending, and I'm like, this is off the chain.
For me, it's always been never ended, to tell you the truth, even before COVID.
Right.
And right now, I mean, it's like we're sharing each other's problems, or we experience each other problems one way or the other. So that's why I understand when they said we supposed to be our brothers and sisters keeper, and we're
Hmm.
all connected. That's
Hmm.
why it's not good when you see a sister going through something, you don't really talk about her, bash her,
Hmm.
depending on what it is, and just turn your head like it don't exist. Because guess what? Eventually, it will spill over to your side of the table. So
Hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of that also too, especially with the housing and homeless. I've been fighting that for many years, 20 years, and we've been saying this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and we're constantly fighting and fighting, fighting, fighting. Now, a lot of the issues I've been fighting, fighting, fighting for years, going on 20 years, is like now I'm hearing the same stories across the nation. Yeah, but before it snowballed, We was trying to fight it before it snowball, and so it won't snowball. And so now the tension is coming now because it's spread it across the country, but it's also exposing the devils who are behind it.
Yeah.
And more devils are behind it, and people that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very clever. And I heard what's her name? What she called herself, Sister Ray Ray, was talking about Trump. Yeah, but uh, Trump was also friends with Hillary for many years. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to say, yeah, well, if you're friends with somebody for years, now it's time to pull out the dagger. I mean, it just doesn't fit well with me. So
Mm-hmm.
when you know how the snake is, through the years, they always kind of like show their head,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody hasn't cut that head off yet. They're gonna keep doing and keep doing. The head grows back, and then people get together. First, they don't get along. So this is a lot of shows, a lot of media. It's a lot of you know. Let's
Smoke
hit
and
the
smoke and
agendas,
mirrors.
hitting agendas.
She's trying to go. She's behind. She was trying to get this man locked up. She was trying to destroy this man, so they might have been friends, but I don't think they kicking
But
it like
more likely because not because
together.
she's an
And
angel,
Trump, he
not
was a
because she's
Democrat.
trying to do the right thing. There has to be
Did you,
something else behind it.
Trump was a Democrat. Do you know he was a Democrat? I
No, he
think
said
he
he
was.
wasn't either one.
He was
Was
a
he?
Democrat. He was a
He was.
Democrat up until he ran for president. And he ran for president because he saw what they were going to do. Because, like you said, everybody's friends. So he
Yeah, their
knew
kids came up together.
what.
Yeah.
That's why when he became president, he pulled us out of the thing there because I don't want nothing to happen to your channel. I wouldn't want to be responsible. So he
Right.
pulled us out of the thing there. He pulled us out the
Gotcha.
thing. And so that's when we got Title 42 and remain in Mexico. That's why the people were stuck over there. Remember that? Because
Yeah.
Mexico is too. That's why they keep coming into Mexico. Mexico has signed it also. But Trump did what he did and he got them to stay over there. And at this point, we have to not, I don't know how to say, we have to stop looking at, oh, he did this and oh, he did that, and just strictly look at the policies. Were the policies that Trump was enforcing working for the country? Are we better
Fact.
off
They
today
were.
than we were then? That's the only way we need to look at politics. We need to stop looking at whether we like a person and, oh, they said this or did that. The policy. Don't worry about nothing they saying. What kind of policy is this
And
president
did he do
right?
what he had to do?
Well, your
Right.
actions speak louder than words. Now, here's the thing: when it comes to legislation and policies, there's thousands of them, and the question is, where do you fit in? So, if it's not about reparations or what can we do for our Black Americans and their pain and suffering, and our reparations and our restitutions, and not just, there's a lot of things that we've been through outside of what our ancestors been through slavery. We have a lot of current conditions that's being ignored, and I don't see any policies around that. I don't care who it is.
Yeah,
Well,
they are not.
you didn't see the platinum plan. Nobody bothered to read the platinum plan, the black platinum plan, which was specifically just for us. Nobody bothered to read it, and that's our
Who
problem.
wrote the platinum plan and who approved
That,
the platinum plan?
that's what Trump was going to give to us. He was going to give us financial capital. The thing
He
that
was.
Yvette Carnell was always saying, we don't have no financial capital. We don't have no business money. He was about to give that to us, coupled with financial literacy and a few other things that went
And
over
wait a
my
minute, just to let you know, Shay, that's how much he was willing to start with to work with. He gave us 500 billion. He did.
thing.
He offered
You
five
mean his plan was to give us 500 billion?
To start. He said we can start at the
That.
negotiating table. And they said, hell no, they snuffed it out because that's not enough. He wasn't saying that's all he was gonna give. He said, I'm gonna start off with this. Let's work our way up. And they snuffed it. They
Thank
did.
you.
Who snuffed
They did.
it?
Yvette
They
Carnell and they all of them. They all snuffed it.
Tariq Nasheed. What's the
Well,
girl
he
from the
wasn't
Black
even one.
But Tariq Nasheed, he's a leader, but he's not our per se
He's
leader.
not a leader. He's not our leader. Let's not say that.
Right.
He's not a
Now,
leader.
No. I'm
Who
saying
was
these were people who with big
but
platforms were speaking out against, like, like the saying the platinum plan wasn't nothing. Tamika Mallory, who was real huge and had a huge following at that time, took a complete dump on the platinum plan. She was
well,
like, "Oh,
Tamika Mari doesn't speak shit for
how
me as
about
far as
this?
I'm concerned, and I know
but
her.
huge.
So
She
what
had a
I'm
big
saying, but she came from the National Action Network. Okay, that's how she started out.
Well,
So
people who were not in our better interests, like this Boulay and this CBC, those are the ones who snuffed that plan. We didn't even,
mhm.
so that's who snuffed it. But he did offer something. He did offer. They're gonna come, they're always gonna come low, and then you gotta work your way up. But he was the only president who did offer something. None of them
exactly.
offered anything. He did offer something.
But
And they
And
here's the thing too.
not only that, Shay, he got up there when he did the First Step Act. He got up there and apologized for what Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and them did. He said it was wrong that white people only got a slap on the wrist and that we got punished so harshly. And he didn't originate the First Step Act, but he improved it. And that's why you see these. I don't know if y'all pay attention to any of these guys or not,
I
but
did
they
because I
got
was listening to
that
Angela
came out
Stanton.
of jail. Yeah, and Angela Stanton. Thank you. She's a perfect example. And then one of the better examples, at least anyway,
She
halfway.
said Black Americans have gotten in their mind with this racism so much. She's not saying nobody's saying like Angela was saying at one point in time, because I think now she's going independent. She said nobody is Black Americans. Stop looking for these perfect clients because we real hypocritical. And we keep voting in the goddamn Democrats who do absolutely nothing and literally sit up there and say they ain't doing shit. We got a nerve to analyze. We should analyze, but it's like we've become so far fetched with the whole thing of racism. That's what the Democrats have pushed, that when somebody is offering something, I'm not saying the Republican Party is not racist, but they were offering something because they do recognize Black Americans as being Black Americans. We can't start looking detail for detail in the policies and procedures and plans. We're going to always fail. We got to get that out of our mind. I'm not expecting Donald Trump to be perfect. None of these presidents, I really don't care. I don't care if he's still friends with Hillary. I don't care if their kids are friends. I want to know, did you do what you have to do under the time period that she was president? I could say for me, I made buku cash under Trump. Now I ain't got no job under Biden, and everything is high, and that's a fact. And people are on the streets. That is a fact. Now, what's going to happen when he gets in, if he gets in this second term? I think it's going to be from one extreme to the other. I just want Black Americans to be out of the forefront, and we need to start negotiating things for ourselves as Black Americans and get this Boulay, who has been an enemy to us with this Pan Africanism shit, this Boulay shit, because it's not helping our pockets. We falling under, and there's nothing here to help us as Black Americans. We have nothing. Absolutely nothing represents Black Americans. They represent immigrants. That's what the CBC represents. Nothing for Black Americans. And that wench got up in front of the news and on live TV and said she not doing nothing specific for Black people, but everybody else got specific laws and legislations passed for them, aka the Asian crime bill. It's like off the chain. And we gotta also remember, Trump was never no president. But she did supply money to both sides. That's why he knows how these motherfuckers operate and know that they shady as fuck. He gave both sides money, whether they Republicans or Democrats. He was a businessman who's going to get him money to benefit possibly what he needed to do as a businessman. I mean, all of them do it. That's why when he said stuff like, you want to talk about my taxes, do you want me to reveal what others have benefited from far more than I? You put those laws into effect. So yeah, I'm going to utilize it to benefit. So I'm not putting him on a pedestal as being the best, but in the same token, I would have to agree that we do need to look at the policies and what did it do for us as Black Americans. And I was better off. Even my mom said under Republicans, she always made money. We've been voting Democrat, and every time we lose shit. She said when Clinton got in, he was the first set that knocked the first set of Black Americans out of their property, home, and land. And then the second one came, and that was Obama, and then he took out the rest where people, Black Americans, lost a lot of their homes. Now you look at Biden, he in office, and motherfuckers ain't got no job and losing their home on the streets. What the hell?
Yep, exactly. I just had to say an amen to everything you're saying right now. Yes.
But part of that also is not once again being our brothers and sister keeper. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, they're a big part of the plan, but personally, we don't help each other out.
I can't say that.
A lot, okay, it depends on who, but the majority, where's
No,
the help?
I
You
can't say
might have help in your family, but some of us got family all over the place and they ain't helping like they can help or like they should help. And I see it
that's
personally for myself.
I would say as a personal aspect, like you was just saying, that's personal. When we say as a collective, they have not done nothing for us as a people. Black Americans do support one another. I
Yeah,
can't say
but we need to support more.
we
We
do.
do need to support more, and I'm going to tell you that because you can hear the stories. We open up the channel and everybody tell their stories and personal what they've been through and how they get help. Is there help? Where's the help? And who's helping them? You'll get a big fat zero.
That's
If
true.
you
We
get,
do
if
not
we
have.
get reparations, you can help yourself. So I'm
No,
saying like
but
we
you
got
still need to do
to get
things
together.
together. Okay. So the most successful people that are here, even though they're corrupt as hell, they
Right.
still stick together and work together.
I would agree with that. We do need to form some type of trust, or I wouldn't say trust, but faith and some type of camaraderie that we need to help one another as Black Americans, but specifically Black American women. I
That's
would
how I know Black Americans were successful even before I was born, because that's how my grandmother was and my great grandmother was. Okay.
agree. I agree. I see where you're going. I think
But
we do.
now we're kind of a little fucked up. And I see it a lot. And taking sides with the enemy to mess up the rest of the flock. To be honest,
Taking a bag for
taking
to
a bag, yep.
I couldn't believe all of the stuff that Jesse Jackson went through. I don't know if you heard about it on BSIA station, Ray Ray, that he went through to change our names from Black to African. It was like
Yes.
that
Hmm.
shit was unbelievable. And we haven't benefited from that. My mom even said it since we've gotten our name changed. And if you look at African American, it's a copyright that doesn't even recognize us as a people. Look it up. Look up African American copyright. It doesn't recognize us as a people, but it's like we're a product. We're not a
Right.
people who gave away our identity. I want y'all to look it up as Black Americans, but especially Black American women. And in the no, I don't want to put it as the Black man thing that this Black man did this, and it was BSI who brought it to light. So a Black male brought it to light that this was done. At first, you was thinking it was low self esteem, but now it's like these people did it to benefit from a bag, because when you see these little panhandlers on here and doing their little Pan African skits that's causing people to get hurt or causing their lives, it's like they getting like this pocket change. And then the CBC, who now helps the very people from these countries that America may have interest in, that come here and they have are being used as white supremacist tools to come stand against us. We thinking they're melanated and they're our skin tone, so we all one, brother. They ain't one. They hateful towards themselves, as you can see with this skin bleaching shit, as well as other stuff. They're tribal, and then they come here and they collectively come up against us. But yet they want to have their own separateness, but then they want to come here and come against us and take our resources, our identity, our benefits, and the whole 9 yards. And I think now as Black Americans, now we're trying to decipher who's who. Not only do we have to recognize our raccoons, but we got to recognize the other people that they brought here that are against us. Even when it comes to religious ideology, yes, I said it. I'm not saying not to believe in the Almighty and don't believe in God, because I believe in God. I know what He's done for me personally. But I'm saying these religious places, churches, temples, mosque, all of these things, Pan Africanism, Hotep. We have been bombarded with a bunch of false religions, false ideologies, and just a bunch of lies. It's like we're waking up from a endless sleep of bullshit. I don't know what to call it. Then you wake up and it's like, what the hell is this? It's like we're being shell shocked. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe y'all can describe it. It's like it's all coming down at once. Whether Hollywood is falling apart, politics is being, people in political spaces being revealed, whether we're discovering that we're black and they're not African. It was also a shock because a lot of us do have children with Africans or Caribbean, not a whole lot, but enough where we thought we formed a camaraderie, and then to find out there are skin tones, and now it really comes to fruition that everybody that's your skin folk ain't your kinfolk, that they was against us all along as a majority, because they'll say not all of us, no, majority. They came here for their own self-interest and they line up with white supremacy. It's like we going through so much at once. So much at once. That's totally different than I think what our parents went through when they were fighting civil rights. When then they were just fighting white supremacy and the right to exist and have their own businesses and not be basically hung in the streets or just be subjected to white hate. Now it seems like everybody coming at us. It's just like crazy. That's what I'm feeling. It's like we trying to decipher who's who. That's where we're at now. Go ahead.
Remember when Dr. Claude Anderson said that we will be in this predicament? It will be too much for us to fight. It's like we will be in a circle.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I think we'd all have to, in order to fight this, this is my strategy, I would say, as Black American women in particular and Black American people. We'd have to break up into groups because it's too many arms. So we all can't go in the one direction to fight. I think in order to fight this beast, we're going to have to go back to back to back, and everybody's going to have to go inside their circle, go in one accord. We're all going in one direction, but we're going to have to everybody's going to have to pick a battle in the area that they would be better suited to fight. That's the way, because we can't all just go in the one direction like how we would have probably done in the past. You may be fighting against one thing that will help us as Black Americans. Another person may be fighting in another arena, and then another one fighting. We have to split up, but yet be together and have each other's back, like Shay was saying. But we'd have to fight an arena in the area was our specialty, because we can't all go in the same direction. It's got too many damn arms. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, or am I just sounding crazy?
No, you're 100% on point. On point. So what you think, Shay, about, look, this is how I feel, and I hope this is not, nobody taking no kind of way, but it's 800,000 illegal aliens that's been in New York City for about over 30, 40 years. Do you think
Mhm.
it's time for some of them to go because they never decided to initiate any paperwork to become a citizen? Do you think it's fair to say, hey, it's 800, now it's 900,000? Maybe a little over with the new ones that have come in. But do you think it's time for us to say, like, yeah, some of you should go, because that would probably free up a lot of housing for the homeless veterans that they're moving around, for some of these Negroes that are out here, for whoever's out here who's homeless that's American in New York. I just want to know with Shay, because I heard you say you were advocate for homeless, and I wonder why that advocacy never brings the fact up that there's so many illegal aliens, migrants that live in so much affordable housing. 805,000 people. That's a lot of units. That's a lot of
Mhm.
housing. So, like, why, where you think, I don't know. I mean, why do you think you have a homeless problem? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Shay,
just want to know what you said about that. Oh, she probably ain't even in.
she there. She might have stepped away for a second. Shay, she might have stepped off. I think y'all got more than that up in there. They be looking at where they hanging up in the crevices of New York. When I saw them U's coming outside of the ground like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, I think y'all got more than that. Y'all might have a million plus immigrants there. I couldn't believe some of them immigrants was down south. They're moving down south now. I do
I'm
think it will free up.
please let the Southern people Don't give them no Southern hospitality, like you said. Please, all they got to do is not frequent they shops that they want to set up. If you could get people to message out to people in the South to not frequent their shops, shop in the businesses that you've been shopping. Don't change
And
nothing.
that's what I want to push. Push that, yeah, ladies. I said the same thing. We on the same wavelength. And I said, do not show Southern hospitality. Hell to the no. Don't let them in. Don't go to their shops. Don't let them, well, you can't prevent them from coming to yours. Don't engage. No Southern hospitality. If you know Ray, you know Bubba, you know Jerome, keep it like that. Do not befriend none of these motherfuckers. Do not give them any Southern hospitality. Don't make them, let them feel welcome in any way, fashion, or form. I'm not initializing bodily harm, but don't let them engage or participate in your society or culture in any way. Alienate them and become more exclusive and less inclusive. Be only inclusive to go to the same stores you've been going to. Like Ray was saying, do not patronize them in any way, fashion, or form, and do not engage in any type of religious hospitality, personal hospitality. Ask questions, who you? And they should be able to say where they're from, they're Black American, who their family is. And if you're not sure, they ain't no family until somebody that you know can say that that's my brother, my sister. Be aware that they're trying to get in any way into our society. And down south is our front hole. And I call the ancestors to rise up and come against them. Yes, I do. The blood of our ancestors may writhe on them like a demon on heat or whatever. I don't want them to have any type of comfort whatsoever in the South or anywhere where we're at. They always tend to follow us to be that, to have us be that buffer or that shield for them. And I pray and ask the ancestors as well as the Almighty to reveal them every time. But no Southern hospitality in any way, fashion, or form. If you want to get along with them on an individual basis, that's your business. But as a collective, do not give them, as well as others, any type of revenue of your funds or your monies or your time and attention. And I mean, not just Africans and Caribbeans, all immigrants at this point. Nobody's our friend. So therefore, we need to, like how Shay say, concentrate on one another. Find a way to patronize our businesses and make sure that they are 100% Black American descendant of United States Chattel Slavery. Make sure that they're that group. We're going to start asking questions because we do need to look out and be concerned and take care of one another first. That is how other groups make it, whether they're degenerate as fuck or not. We need to start being mindful and ask the question, who you? And you should know who Black Americans are. If they stumbling all over the place, well, I'm from here and I'm from there and I'm this, you should be able to know. There should be primary questions that we ask that only a Black American would know and that you would know. Follow their aura, not just the way they look. They stumbling, they trying to fit in. Don't let them fit into us. We done. We say we delineate, and that's in every way, fashion, or form. I'm not saying if you're already married or in friendships or relationships or situationships, you need to be mindful of those situations. I'm not advocating for, like I said, any bodily harm, but as a collective, we're not them and they're not us. And we need to make it known, not just here, but abroad. It's time to make that change. We are the people who can do it.
That's right. And we want to uplift the dignity in all migrants. May they be blessed and may YouTube bless them. And hopefully YouTube will have to pay higher taxes for them. Thank you.
Yes, I'm not. You sounded like BSIA. Shay says she thinks they're going to shut it. They might. I agree. In California, Black Americans will still give their money to people and increase to the BS disclaimer. She said, I don't think so, Pinky. A lot of them in the South, they have Southern hospitality, but I've been pre-warning them. I know one thing. My cousin said her grandbaby knew. He said his Caribbean teacher, primarily from she was Jamaican. The baby knew that she was Jamaican and said that the teacher took the side of the white boy and basically did something, had him suspended. My daughter has been going through things on her job with these people. So I don't think so. I think as Black Americans start to see their vitriol and it starts to come out, I think things will change. And like Somali was saying, those in Minneapolis, the Somalian children were fighting the Black American children. I don't think they're gonna get their money like that. Yeah, we would as Black Americans from Generation X, but the Millennials and Generation Z, nah, they not as sovereign as we are. And then my girlfriend was saying that her grandbaby was in the hospital and it was a African who was acting a little too cheery, and he's about to be 20 years old, and he came up and he was like, she was like being overly friendly, and he was like, well, maybe grandson, it's just her culture. And he said, no, I don't want her in my room. And he said it to the woman. He said, in fact, not only do I not want you in my room, I want another nurse. And she was African. He was very clear. That's us with that overabundance of being religiously nice. But these young ones coming up, he made it known. He said, "No, Grandma, I don't care what you say. I understand." He said, "I ain't trying to hear that cultural stuff." He said, and he said it to the woman. He said, "Matter of fact, I don't want you as my nurse. Get your supervisor." He said, "I don't want you nowhere near me." This was when he was in the hospital. She stayed with him in the hospital because our children are not as accepting as we are. But we need to get this situated because they're not going to be as nice as we are. And that's something that we never would have said. But he felt very comfortable in saying what he said. And then the same thing with my cousin's grandbaby. She was shocked that he knew the difference. But it's us, the Generation X and the ones before who have this giving spirit, not our children. They're not playing this shit. They gonna come up with a roar. So they see what we don't see, and we see it, but we don't want to comment on it. But our kids, a lot of our children are very, very outspoken and speaking it. So we need to listen. We need to listen. I don't think we'll see it's too late, Pinky. You are very negative. I think we will see now and we'll push forward. I don't think we'll see too late. I think we're in a transition and everybody's going through, not just us as Black Americans, but all of America. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was in between. I did give, but I didn't give an overance. You had to earn what was given from me. I had to have that mindset to say, okay, yes or no, and then even that I would question. But a lot of us do have that, but not our children. I can't say that because our children are not us. I'm not gonna put that on them. I've seen it. I know I've lived around foreigners and my people. In California, Pinky, I think in New York and California, y'all have been overabounded with immigrants. Whereas in the South and in Philly, no, we don't see them like how y'all did. So I can't say that because in Philly, we know the difference. We brought it up. We brought it up. That's why so far, unless Trump gets in, we haven't been inundated. They do come here, but they haven't done Philadelphia like how they've done New York or how they've done California or Chicago, because it's like we know there's a difference. No, I just see them as Black, but not as the same Black. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
We never
You
like
mean
to get that.
you mean to tell me Philly don't have a union for the elite? Because they got a union out here to protect their jobs. Did you know
I
that?
see them. I see them, but I also see us. Now, I'm not saying if we get another 4 years of Trump, if something won't happen, but this city runs differently. Philly's a little different. They can come here, but they ain't giving them no extra help. You know how New York is rolling out the red carpet, giving them funds. Hell no, they ain't getting nothing up in here. That's probably why they don't stay. We're not giving them. The Chicago's giving up money, California giving up money. Philadelphia ain't giving up no money. The state of Pennsylvania ain't giving up money. Pennsylvania runs like a Republican, but yet it runs like a Democratic. The city of Philadelphia is Democratic, but the state of Pennsylvania has a lot of Republicans on the outskirts. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But you know, the host countries, the reason why these people are taking them, because the host countries get some kickback.
Oh.
They getting kickback. They call host countries. Any country that say, oh, I'm a sanctuary city, that's the like an undercover word for a host country. And it's part of
Well,
the,
that's what we are. We're sanctuary, but for some reason they're not staying. They're here. I'm not saying they're not here, but they don't get no funding. Like how like New York is giving them $1,000. Now that could change. But as of now, they haven't given them no money, like no extra additives. Like New York is rolling out the red carpet, Chicago rolling out the red carpet.
They getting triple. They getting $3,000 in Chicago. They rolled out the super thick padded red carpet for them.
Right.
And people been getting benefits. All this stuff about hard work. They come up in the country getting $30,000 to $50,000, hundred
Hmm.
thousand dollars for a torture story. We don't know if these people like what happened, who really
I
tortured
think
them.
it's
We
a
don't
lie.
know.
I think most
But
of
they
it is a lie.
selling it. And not only that, they family get broke off with cheddar too. And
Yep.
they weren't even victims. Just because you related to this person, you getting a bag. So these people coming and getting all type of bags. Then if they
Yep.
committed any crimes in their other country, guess what? That doesn't get to follow them here. If they got debt in their other country, that doesn't get to follow them here. So they coming
Mm.
in getting bags, and then they looking at you talking about, hey Negro, why you ain't because you've been sabotaging us for a long time.
Facts.
Subpar schools, subpar teachers. You should see the crap that happens with these no good teachers in New York City. They put them in a little padded room. They put them in a timeout instead of just
Yep.
firing. The union protects them. It's New York is so corrupt. I've been praying somebody will come to New York and just clear it out. If this city could just be flipped red, because it's so corrupt. It's a disgrace.
Mm.
It's terrible.
Shay was
I'm
saying
sorry.
that. She said it's very corrupt. Shay, she was asking you about the homeless people.
Okay. What was the question?
No, I was saying, what do you think about the fact that there's we before the people came in, we had 805,000 undocumented people living in the shadows or whatever, right? But you figure all those people have to have a place to live, and the majority of them living in affordable housing. So because you're an advocate in that, I want to know, like, how would y'all attack that, or did y'all know that, or
Well, there's a
because I
lot of things that you said. Did we know it? The question is, did they know it? Of course, we know it, and we know what's going to happen before it happened, right? So it takes a couple of years and a lot of process before the outcome, which is what you see in front of us. And those who try to tell what's going on or try to intervene or try to stop it, guess what? You know what they do. It's nothing new under the sun. They silence them, they target them. So
So they
they,
I'm gonna push back on that because you know why, Shay? Because we had Dr. Ben Carson. Do you think Dr. Ben Carson is a coon too?
do
Honestly,
I
yeah, I
think,
just want
do I think Dr. Ben Carson is what?
a
a
coon. Do
raccoon.
you view him as somebody being a coon?
A raccoon.
A raccoon.
That's questionable. I'm not going to say yeah, he's a raccoon for sure. I have to see some things myself. But he claimed, okay, not that he claimed, but his family came from the projects. Is that correct? Of housing, subsidy housing,
Um,
affordable
I'm
housing, which way you want to come
not
call it.
about that, but my point, the reason why I brought him up is
Uh,
because not to disrespect you, because I don't really know
he
about
was,
that, but I
yeah,
brought
but
him up
Trump
because
put him in charge of housing of HUD. Didn't Trump?
right.
Yeah.
Did y'all work? Did your group work with him? Because he was trying to get a lot of these the migrants or the undocumented people out of the housing.
Really?
And yes, and so many people was calling him coons all over social media, everywhere. They was like, "Yeah, Ben Carr, he's a coon," and he was like, "Yeah, that's the problem." He said, "If you want them to stop coming, you got to turn off the spigot." So he was like, "Here's a problem here." Right? And for some reason, everybody just started attacking him, and he was going to get the people out. But black people, Negroes, started attacking him all over social media.
Okay, so I understand that part and I understand why, which goes back to the Pan Africanism thing, right?
Mhm.
So back then, I don't know how many people have crossed the line to the truth and want to get out of the umbrella of their own demise now. Because when we talk about the programming and the different organizations, NAACP, National Action Network, Urban League, and all of that clique and crew now has the real, the, let's call it, super Pan-Africanism movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're supposed to be your brother's keeper, right, and your brother's belief without the others knowing that the policies that they're putting in place is going to leave you out the loop, right? And continue for them to get in positions where you and your family won't be able to get in because they're going to work together to keep you out. So this is what's happening now, right? So the
African and Caribbean,
continuation,
along with black people tried to get a bag and sold out their own people. That's bottom line what it is. Because now you got the immigrants that got homes, and black Americans and those immigrants who get in a bag did that do that Pan African bullshit, and a
see, they
lot of
don't
black.
come back and look out for the blacks who tried to help them in. That's the point blank. They're going to keep it moving. They ain't going to be their brother's keepers. So, but what I'm saying is, you asked me a question, and I didn't know that he was trying to do that. See, I had no idea about that part. So you got a lot of people working a lot of different tools in different places. So you got city, state, and federal government, and then you got all these different entities, and then all you got all these different non-for-profit groups. So the communication, which is something that maybe we need to, or I need to work on, as far as that's
They was
concerned.
getting
Because
moved
let me
with
tell
a
you
lot
what they do.
of
Let me put it like this. When there's an issue going on, who do they reach out to? The NAACP. Now, I might be in one office in the NAACP,
mm-hmm.
a transaction and a conversation and a decision's about to be made, but guess what? I won't hear about it. They won't even tell me. Do
Wow.
you understand what I'm saying? Even though you have advocates who's been around for 100 years, but they block that communication, or they don't let you know, or they leave you out the loop. But that has happened before.
You know what? You might be right on that because my girlfriend was saying when she was going to fight for something for someone she was helping with their homeless situation, and they was taking his money or whatever. He wasn't homeless. They was taking his money, his benefits, and stuff that was left. She went to the NAACP here, and it wasn't even open at all. The office is there, but no one is there. It's just there as a front. Nobody's actually working in some of these offices.
Most of the offices, which is something, what was, whose show was this out? It was either Blaskin or Mike TV. And
But she went
I
multiple
think it was
days.
Mike TV. And I was saying, we was talking about the NAACP. I was like, yeah, because of within New York State, they have a list of offices, and I know these locations because I know this New York City like the back of my hand. And guess what? Ain't nobody there. Nobody's phone is working, and this is
Yep.
public listing. Matter of fact, I tried to contact one of the presidents of the NAACP
Mm-hmm.
upstate,
Uh-huh.
and her listing is under the YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
So when I call a number and I'm trying to contact her for the last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then they
Mm-hmm.
full of shit too. So when I call, I get the YMCA. I was like, wait a minute, is her office in there in the YMCA? And the person was like, the executive officer was like, no. I was like, well, her information has your address, your number, and all of that. Was there a mix up? She was like, no, we had this number for years. So this person, and she's known within the community.
So it's
So
like a front.
that's what I'm telling you. But listen to this. Now I have a complaint, and I had a racial complaint about an organization, which I still do. You know what the executive you was? I think you was on the phone with me at the time. The executive director's like, we gotta call what's her name, which is the president of the NAACP. I was like, yeah, I know who she is. Like, and the first thing she brought up was the president of the NAACP. Don't you think that's funny? If I have a complaint of discrimination against your organization, right?
Mhm.
You mean the first thing I'm going to bring up, we got to talk to such and such from the NAACP. What does that sound like to you?
Like they gonna block your case or stop you from moving forward.
Uh-huh.
Right? Or they have her in position for those particular situations.
Wow. Okay, I was slow. Y'all caught it before me because I was like, where that ball go? I was like, oh, okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But she said my girlfriend was saying she went for a week straight. Nobody was there and at different times. So this is like
Yeah, but
two
see, and what
organizations.
state is she? Hold on, what state is she in?
We in Pennsylvania.
Okay,
We in
so
Philly.
guess
We in
what?
Philly. We in Philly.
This is a national thing. And
So
that's
that's
even more dangerous. So how come they could be on code not to show up and be there, but they can't be on code on everything else?
mm,
That's a good question.
mm,
But we have to pay more attention to what's going on
we do.
ourselves and depending on these organizations because we already know after King died, the NAACP was a no go. Like they already sold out after the King passed.
Facts. I
Yeah,
think like
so
how we have to have different arms and we can't all of us can't walk in the same direction. Dr. Claude Anderson was correct. We all can't fight from the different we can't all fight from the same. We have to have fight in different branches and do different things. Like somebody may be excellent on global news, global information that affects us here. So that person would spew out that information and we need to check it out because black Americans have a tendency, and I'm talking to us as women, this is a women's station, but I'm talking to the cloud. We have a tendency to watch nonsense. And I'm not saying we got to be serious all the time, but we need to know what's going on around us as well as what's at home. So provide that information. Number two, provide information of what we can do to get help for one another. And that would be, like Shay was saying, we need to be more informed on helping one another. I don't think it's no organizations out there for us though. But if we can cipher out funding, in some way, fashion, or form, and somebody can get that information, that would be good. But I don't think it's nothing out here for us. I think they have locked us out, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, because everything is for immigrants. I knew something was up when they throw a homeless, a veteran, not homeless, a veteran. If his daughter didn't come and get him, they put his stuff out on the curb. He was 95 years old, white, and threw him out to the curb. White and black people getting tossed out. Americans, it's like they tossing everybody out. This the only thing I would say about buying that. I do like he done turned them into niggers, so they getting a taste of what they've been dishing to us for a long time. I don't feel too much stuff for them, but as Black Americans, I don't think there was always limited help for us, and now even more so now. Since Biden has been in office, he's cut us completely off, and that's what Hillary made sure to say. That's what he made sure to say, and I think our minds was warped on this whole racism thing. That a lot of us lack the critical thinking, and we just, if you say racism, it's like Black Americans become charged. So I'm hoping in these next 8 to 9 months, a lot of us will start waking up to the reality of what's going on, especially those who are Advent Democrat supporters, and they're going to vote blue no matter who will get the most serious wake up call, and we can start being more critical in our thinking and have more of a better stance on politics and policies. It's boring. It's a lot going on. It's tedious, but I think that we as Americans, especially Black Americans, especially primarily Black Americans, we have to know that this is the only way we're going to survive. We need to be aware of what's going on and how does these politics and policies affect us. That's my thing. We do need to help one another though. We may have to become a certain point of held for oneself. Because even if Trump gets in office, this whole immigration thing and them getting them out of here, that's going to take up about a year of his time, and it's no telling what other policies he will initialize during that time. That's my thing. This whole deportation and mass deportation, this whole mass deportation thing is going to take a lot of resources. It was easy for them to come in, and you see how much money they gave. It's like they purposely draining it. You know how much money it's going to take to get them suckers out of here? It's going to take even more to get them out. Just saying. Men, women, get your license to be a ICE agent. So it sounds like
Facts.
they got a lot of organizations. We got a lot of front organizations. We need real organizations. When we dump these suckers out of here, we need real organizations where you can speak to people. I don't know about anybody else. I'm getting tired of every time I call to get assistance with something. I know y'all noticed we don't reach anybody that's English speaking no more. Elaborate on that shit. On that mess, rather.
Outsourcing,
Yeah.
outsourcing. The government has been doing that for so long. They did it to me. I started a business. I was 31 years old, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I started a
Mhm.
small medical billing business. And I was ready, set to go. And I couldn't get anybody to bite. And somebody finally came along, excuse me, finally came along and said, look, the government is outsourcing medical billing to the Indians, and they're only charging like they get like 10 cents a claim. I'm charging at the time like $5, so I couldn't compete with 10 cents. So I shut that business down. And you know what I started doing? I opened up an e-store with Avon, and I was selling Avon for like the next 4 years. And I was devastated. And I'm like, how can the government outsource your personal information? But yeah, we have so many HIPAA laws here, and now it's come back to bite them, because you have a lot of, not all Indians, and no disrespect to the Indian community, uplifting them and all of that, but you have a lot of them who are hacking, and they've been exposed to that medical and all your medical information.
That's what I
Your
heard.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and that's
America
they
is a
people like
consumer,
me
not a
out.
so consumer. We're not a producer. I'm hearing they have outsourced so much that we're producers, we're consumers. That's deep. That's
Do you
sense why
remember?
we get all
No, I was gonna
what
say,
we
do you remember being a kid and we had so much stuff and it would always say "Made in the USA"? Do you remember that?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not no more. It's made in China, made in Indonesia, made everywhere else. Basically made in China. I can't believe these Ellis Island motherfrickers. That's not Black Americans did this shit. Like BSI was saying, they are the epitome of stupid, and they're the main ones screaming about the American dream. So when this thing, not if, when this thing does go belly up, we don't make anything. We don't even have pharmaceutical companies here. All of our medicine, 80% of our medicine comes from China. And it's to the point with everything that's coming from them. And it's not good quality medication, to be exact. That's why we have so many side effects. I never thought about that. The
And
shit is crazy.
all these people on dialysis start out with diabetes, controllable, manageable, and you end up on dialysis. That is not a coincidence.
It's
It's not.
not.
And the
Start looking
FDA
at
needs to be
the.
held accountable. I was just saying the
I never.
FDA needs to be held accountable.
Yeah, they do. When I look at all of that stuff, I was like, I'm not one who's an avid taker of medicine. I'm not telling people what to do, because you do have to listen to your physician within reason. That's up to you. But I've never seen so many medications. I'm not naming a particular one, that you take medication to cure one thing and it gives you so many side effects of other stuff. And then when I found out our medication came from overseas, China, I'm like, are you kidding me? They tariffing these suckers, banning, and you get medicated. It just does not make no sense. It makes no sense.
When you
It's
got
better
all
than
the Puerto Ricans over here, you got all the Puerto Ricans over here, right? And they're good at doing pills. So why the hell aren't we getting the pills from them? Because they're good at that. We used to get medication from them at one point. They're really good at doing that. You'll find a lot of them doing that. So why, bring them here, put them on welfare and stuff like that? Why not? Why didn't you just set that up where we get our medication from them?
And
They're
then still
here.
have policies here that we, because you're right, Puerto Rico is a province to the United States, and then we're here in America. We can still have our pharmacies where we can make certain things here, and then I'm not saying we shouldn't outsource some things like trade, not outsource trade. It's like they outsourced everything. You know that they have beef, and then they take the beef and send it over to China for them to put whatever preservatives in it and then send it back. Now China didn't send the last few back. Why would you do that when we could do our own preserve our own meats and everything here? It's like the stuff that they do is just ass backwards, and it comes from those acts that Democrats created. Hey, aka Hillary and Bill Clinton. That's what I was hearing. I don't want to say what it is, but you know what I'm talking about, Ray Ray.
Yep, I know.
The shit is off the chain. This is stuff Black Americans find to be a headache and not be aware of, but this is the stuff that affects your everyday life. Literally, it's you eat it, sleep, drink, put it on, and it's a lot of us just are overwhelmed. And with us as Black Americans, especially Black American women, the way this country had us poised, you worked every day from 9 to 5. Then you had just enough time to go pick up your kids. You really had no time for life in this country. That's why a lot of immigrants, when they come here, they don't have the
That's
resilience.
right.
They can't work like how we. That's what we built. They found another way to enslave you. And then when they come here, these motherfuckers like they work and your soul resurrect. They ain't never worked like that. That's why their countries are failed. We were working, and when you're working and you come home and you're at work 8 hours of the day, done getting stuff in, your mind is not. Your mind is so overwhelmed and distracted. You're not paying attention to the stuff around you. So I'm just giving us a little grace, a little, that you don't have enough time to say what is going on here, what is going on there. But I think as Black Americans, we're gonna have to change that. You're gonna have to find time, or we as a people who have the time gonna have to find out time how to get the information and break it down to people in like small advice where they can get what's going on. Because when you're overwhelmed throughout the course of the day with working, people are not going to listen to something that's long and drawn out. They want to find a way to condense it where they get all of the main factors and know what's going on. What is the Office of New Americans? I don't know what that is. What is the Office of New Americans? We have to start condensing information and getting it out to people. And be a help to one. What is the Office of New Americans? What is that, Somali? Kay is asking you a question. I'm curious. Did anybody ever hear the Office of New? Did you ever hear that before?
Is it an NGO? It sounds like one.
What's an
Right? Office of non-for-profit government organization.
Oh, write down what it is, Somali, because I don't know what Kay is asking you. I just saw it. I want to know what y'all talking about. Somali, what is the Office of New Americans? Somali, probably the New Americans. That's what they call them, the illegal immigrants that's coming here. They're the New Americans. That's what Nancy Pelosi said. America, they are the New Americans. You
Right. That's why I said sounds like an NGO.
Mm-hmm. Maxine Waters looks real old and beat the hell down. I think her degeneracy and deviousness is catching up with them.
Well,
I
they're
would.
saying that her district is the worst.
All of the districts are the worst. I don't
Hmm.
see how they can hold their head up high. I would feel some type of way. Because I believe with that type of treachery, I would be afraid that I'm going to bust hell wide open. How can you be that deceitful and degenerate?
After all those years, though, you didn't.
Yes.
I mean, you can't say, "Well, I wasn't there enough time to make the changes and improve my district." No, how long? How many? Huh?
They have the Judas effect. And that's her, Dr. Sharpton. Reverend, I don't even call him Reverend because he ain't know the evil Sharpton. Maxine Wallace. I don't get it. And then they said Jamaica is sold out, and that's Sheila Jackson Lee. What
That's
kind of
right.
melanated shit is this going on? These motherfuckers, what did they take? You can't beat them, join them. No integrity, none, to get some Judas coins. I don't want them to leave here in a nice peaceful way. I want it to be in a way that God has His way to the utmost. I cannot this to the life of me. All of this to gain a bag, and I'm talking about
That's
what
right.
I know. It just don't make no sense. I can't wrap my head around it. And then I have to deal with the degeneracy and the sickness of some damn immigrant talking shit coming from failed nations that's literally swallowing in filth, poverty, and shit to come here and hold it. And the ones that are coming here possibly they talking all of that stuff and they able to live in our mediocre neighborhoods or our middle class neighborhoods. That's their rich. They come in here, they probably done backstab they people. We living around a bunch of liars and backstabbers. This shit is crazy. A bunch of snakes and fucking vipers. We have been lied to so much that it's hard to decipher the truth, but we gotta like rack our brains to figure out which end is which. That's why I said this is like a disastrous puzzle where the pieces have been thrown all over the place, and we got to figure out a way to put it together and get some understanding. It's off the chain, and it's like every time you figure you dig deep, it's you getting deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and the stuff just gets off the stuff that's going on with celebrities. I'm just getting sick of it all. Like you found that in New York, as you know who I'm talking about, those that you couldn't be a mentor. You wanted the booty smash young boys, booty smash young boys and girls. It's like that's what the degeneracy, the disgusting shit that was going on is all like celebrities can't speak because if they go to speak, all of the nonsense that they was involved with will be revealed. That's what they got on them. I wouldn't even want them to speak at this point. But it's like this shit is like crazy. And a lot of us came from the same humble beginning as Black Americans. And this is what you found to do just to gain some wealth. Which say to gain wealth. What did they say in the Bible? Does it profit a man to gain all of this wealth and lose his soul? That's literally what they did. Down from the politics to the pulpit to entertainment. It's like becoming more and more disgusting when you hear this shit behind the scenes. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And Meek Mills, I don't know if you heard him. He came out maybe about a month or so ago, and he said that they pay them, to do these things, to be corrupt, to corrupt the minds.
What?
Yeah, he said he was speaking before. Ironically, he was speaking before the NAACP, an investor in it as well. But yeah, he said that.
I don't mean no harm. I don't consider the NAACP a good organization. I feel like
Not anymore.
I feel like they just as corrupt as a lot of the stuff behind it. I don't see that as nothing that helps Black people. It's an organization that's a sham and just full of shit. And it wasn't started by us as Black people anyway. So, but it's like every time, the more we find out, it's like the worse it gets. It's literally a truce to that point that the truth may hurt, but it'll set your ass free. And it's like this shit is hurting as we swallow. I'm like, what the hell? What's next? It's like just getting more and more deceitful. This country was literally, we always knew that what goes around comes around. Karma's coming like a bitch. But when it's in your own midst and people that you think were close to you, that shit like hits like a hammer. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of hurtful. It's shocking and hurtful. Some stuff we were aware of, but other stuff we'd be like, what the hell? This is what y'all spend time doing? No wonder we ain't getting nowhere. We got stagnant in the Black community. We got a whole lot of religion. All of these goddamn religious organizations and crime all around us. Religious organization, bars, homes, failed schools, no money, and a bunch of hope and change, and ain't shit we hoping on, and ain't shit. What you say? We got a whole lot of hope, but no fucking change. This shit is on my nerves. I'm frustrated to the utmost. as you go to work and you're wondering, okay, why has stuff changed? And that's why we've been fed a bucket full of lies, a meal full of deceitful lies. Just saying. So Somali, where did you go? Kay, are you still walking around? Kay was walking around in the fireworks, everything bombarding her. She in San Diego, walking around a bunch of the Chinese New Year in Chinatown. Ain't that something? China can have a town in America, but we can't have our own town. The shit is off the chain. Dr. Carson said affordable housing was for American. Okay. I wonder, do y'all think he's going to be the vice president, Dr. Ben Carson? From affordable housing and black men's attacks. Oh, she's saying what you're saying, Ray Ray. Ben Carson was evicted them from affordable housing and black Americans attacked him for that. Wow. Probably ones who ain't had no sense and didn't know better. I bet you they want to attack his ass now. Trump told us they were lying. That's why he closed the border and told them stay in Mexico. And that's everything he's saying is coming to truth, though. I saw they couldn't wait for Biden to get in so they can come run over here like cockroaches. Trump did hold them at bay. And then Biden just let them in and said, come on in. And I don't looking, he looking like he going further and further down. I don't think he gonna make it another 2 to 3 months, much less 9 months. This man's mindset is going. It is going to be no way he's going to be able to debate. You want Dr. Ben? I don't think he'll be president, but I wouldn't be surprised if he be vice. He has that quiet, mediocre spirit that could probably do it. A lot of people will probably call him coon and whatever, but at this present moment, the ones who know the truth, this is going to be a fight for our lives. But America is going to go through a transition altogether. This is not going to end well. This is going to be a very bumpy, tedious, hellfire ride.
Yeah, sure.
So don't think when you get Trump in, it's gonna be just, it's gonna be hunky dory. Trump gonna be in no motherfucker. Things gonna get real bad. It's gonna get real bad before it get better, and that might take a long time. This motherfucker fucked this shit up. He jacked this stuff up. And I hope Black Americans get yourself together and secure yourself as much as possible. Make sure you have your own rations and preservatives in your home to survive this. This is going to be like a 20 tidal wave or a size 20 what you say Richter scale thing. This is going to be something like really bigger than what we ever could imagine. So don't think, Trump is in, that's it. I don't think a lot of us are really ready for. We don't have the balls and the guts as Black Americans, by overly compassionate ass to do how we know these suckers gonna do. So don't jump out. Racism. Just keep your ass away. That's what I'm saying as Black Americans, because we know how they move. Keep your black behind out the way. And for you who want to get in the forefront, that might be the last stand you take. For people who don't give a damn about you, we know us will know to your family members. You can stand up if you want to for this bullshit, because these people will not stand up for you. But that will probably be your last stance for something that you should not get involved in. Black Americans need to look forward, mind your business, and make sure you have what you need to have to survive. These are going to be some very hard, tedious times. And the way in which they go to eliminate this process and do mass deportation and whatever else they got to do, it's not in a lot of us as Black Americans won't have the stomach to do that or get in that process. So I would say for us as Black Americans, turn around, make sure we watch each other's back and survive this chaotic mess that this administration has gotten us into, because it's going to be a mess getting us out. It's going to be hellfire getting us out of it. That's what I'm saying. And it's not going to be pretty at all. Start a garden if you have the space. That's what I was saying. Start a garden. You can do it in pots. If you live in the city, get you some pots, do a garden, grow your stuff. Form an alliance with people that you know that are Black American in your community that's trustworthy. Make sure you like minded, because some of us are a little bit too compassionate. I'm not saying not to have compassion, but relegate that compassion on yourself. Put that compassion on your own people. We don't have time to be compassionate for others. They got their people, we got ours. Unless you in, like I said, a personal relationship, and that's your family, a close friend that you know for years, that's different. But as a collective, Black Americans gonna have to learn how to be selfish. We gotta be selfish.
That's
Self-preservation.
right. That's right.
Time to be selfish. The giving is over. They got countries. You don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. Time to be selfish. Be ye selfish. Love yourself, self preservation, and relegate your self esteem. And women, keep your peace. Guard your peace, Black American women. Guard your peace. Do not age out in this shit. Guard your peace. Take care of your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Get a spiritual connection with your Almighty, your God, and be selfish. Put our love, energy, and how you say, and our attentions on oneself. First, self-preservation and our community first as a collective. It's time for us as Black Americans. It's time to be selfish. Those other people have, yes, exactly, Shay. They have their own countries. We just telling them to go home. So they have their own countries, and we need to realize that. And this ain't no peaches and creams over here, so they can't keep running. You got to fight, and it can't be that bad. You left your mama, your grandmama, aunt. That's bullshit. Let's not believe the hype. No more believing the hype, because they talking about they running from persecution, but you done left your mama, your grandma, your uncle, and your grandfather. That shit don't, and it don't look like they running from persecution. Like a bunch of young vandals, because every one of them I'm seeing is young men, and they basically tearing up our streets, giving more crime. So I don't see no running for asylum. I see a bunch of bullshitters. That's what I see.
Yep. Economic migrants and people looking for free benefits because they've been promised these things. They've been told where to go and how to get them. So, yeah.
It's funny how they know exactly where to go. If y'all noticing that, pay attention. She's right. They know exactly where to go. We don't even know where to go to get help. These motherfuckers know where to go before we do.
Listen,
It's
that's
like
the NGO. The NGO tell them where they should go, what's best. Like if you're a family of 4, they may say, "Oh yeah, go to New York. You'll get this amount of food stamps. You'll get this kind of help and that kind of help." And not to mention the private funding they get once they, get set up or whatever. They also have a network of private funding around with them, coupled with the grants that they get. So they have a huge amount of support around them.
Hmm. I wonder if they tell them when they get to the border where to go. Get bus A, and that'll take you here. Get bus B. Because they have busing and everything. It's like you made it. You made it to the promised land. Okay, catch bus B, catch bus A. It's like weird.
The ones that they really wanted for whatever reason, they flew them into Westchester.
Hmm.
They flew them in from the border. They flew them in. They got flued out to from Mexico to Westchester. That's where my son goes to school. So he went to private school, so he went out in Westchester. So they
Oh.
out there in the better part. Yeah, that's the better part. Like the Bronx is, the boroughs are yang yang. But if you want to live better, you go into Westchester. So that's where they flew them out to.
Is that where they also going to the people homes and asking for money?
No, not in Westchester. Not in Westchester, no. Because those people were highly skilled. That's what I'm saying. These people were sought after. This was a whole plan. They picked through people. I don't know. I don't want to say like underage girls were
Hmm.
purchased in a manner. So they had picked people. They were picking kids and girls that were supposed to go places. And all of that was going on. And the rest of these people you see drowning and coming through, they didn't care about them, but they picked through the people that they really, really wanted for certain positions.
Mm. Somebody said, Pinky said she watched a news story. The United Nations is paying for their travel, and Governor Abbott is sending them to different states. Mm. I'm hearing that rumor too.
Yeah, well, Abbott is sending them to New York and Florida because to New York and
Hmm.
Chicago and wherever else because they're sanctuary cities. And because these people took a stance against, they wanted them to end sanctuary cities, right? And protect all of us. But since they opt not to do that, and the border, Texas is right there, Texas is getting slammed. They say, okay, since you don't want to end sanctuary cities and help us out, I'm gonna start busting them out.
Got you.
Because they started calling him, yeah, Governor Abbott is racist and he's this. He said, okay, I'm racist, I'm this and that, but you're not getting any of these people. So he started, but I don't like it, but that's what he did. But yeah, all
Some
of
of
this
them
was planned.
are part of,
Mhm.
some of them they're saying that Governor Abbott is a part of the agenda too. There's so many stories out here, but yeah, Miss Deb live in
And
Texas.
I want to remind people that Texas is about like 50% black, Negro. Yeah, 50, about 50%. A lot of black people in Texas. So I was very
Right.
happy that he putting the wire up and he's doing or he can finally because the illegal aliens make up about 40% of the population. Whites are gone. People looking at Texas like, oh, it's not white like it used to be anymore. But the black people have managed to hold on. And you have the illegals that are at 42%. How can illegals, you know what I'm saying? Is that right?
Now let me
That's
ask you
not
a question. Why would see this is the real test? Why would okay, so Biden made a comment in which is spread like wildflower through the UMP committee. I mean European community, right? In
Hmm.
America. Well, Biden says that it's going to the future is black, melanated or whatever. So, what would make you think, being that he said that,
He said the
that
future.
what make you think that nobody else is going to try to do anything about it? Which makes me think, why would you have Ukrainians over here, Russians over here, the what's the other country? Armenians.
Hmm.
Don't you think there's something strange about that?
He said the future is for the Hispanics. That's what he said. But the other
Yes,
groups,
he did say melon, but he did make the melanated comment.
he
right.
said we're
So
gonna have.
strange. I don't think it's strange because they were planning it. I've heard this
Right.
since I was a that
No,
the world
when
was
I say
over.
it's
I heard
strange,
that before.
that's not saying that I don't know it's strange. I'm saying that so everybody else can think. Maybe you don't know.
Oh,
You get what I'm saying?
I guess I don't know. So wait a minute. He said the future's for the Hispanics, but you are gonna have to work with the future's for the Hispanics. That's what he said, and you black people have to work. No, he said they're going to be the minority. That's what he said about white people. He said, and you are going to have to work with the Hispanics. Black people have to work with the Hispanics because like the future is this. I don't know.
No, Trina. He said, let's make this one thing clear. White will always be the majority. Girl, go
That's what
back and watch it. That's what he said. He said white will always be the majority. He
I
said
got.
that, and then he
I think
said
when he
about
made that comment, he heard somebody else make that comment. When he
but
made that comment, he was
it's true.
clarifying. Hold up, he was clarifying what the word is on the streets compared to what he's saying is going to be. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I heard him say.
I
Whites are
mean, they
gonna
taught us that in school. They taught us that in school. But this was manipulated by man. Instead of them letting it happen naturally, they forced it for whatever reason. They wanted to force this, brown being, my well, more than us.
which is not
You know,
true. He said by 2040, whites will be the minority. That's what he said, minority. And you guys are going to have to work with the Hispanics. That's what he said.
and you're right. But he said they was always going to remain in power or something. Like, you're right. I'm gonna check myself right now. But he says something to the effect of them still like remaining power. Like, relax, you're gonna be in power, but you're gonna be the minority. That's what he said. He said that they will
He
maintain
can't. How he
power.
gonna dictate that
I would have to
shit?
go back and
You know,
read it,
who's
but he did say
anything?
right.
Anybody can make changes within 5 hours, 4 hours, 1 hour. I'm talking about as far as politics and legislation and policy and government. Things can change quickly. So he's not going to be here, but he's telling us the plan.
You threw a ball at me, and I don't know where the fuck you went. Where that ball go? What you talking about? He not gonna be here, but things. What?
He's not going to be here, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that he's not going to be in office. He'll probably be in a nursing home by that time. He said 2040, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 9 times, you know how he already is. He's already older. How old is he? 70?
78. He almost 80 years
80
old.
years old. So he's not going to be here 9 times out of 10, right? In 2040, that's what, another what? 20 years,
16 years.
16 years, okay, 80, 90, 95. So he made a statement as a president. Now, here's the thing. That's why I said anything could change because you're going to have different presidents by that time.
Okay.
You're going to have different people running the country.
Let me catch this up. Here's this man. Instead, he's making a prediction on something where he does not know the future, but yet he's giving us a prelapse. So this is how it's going to be. But
Right.
yet, what he's saying may not be like how they said when we was listening to BSIA. Follow along, Ray Ray. I'm just catching. I'm just trying to. They thought that Black Americans should be extinct. We should have been extinct when it was 1972. I was 2 years old. You probably was a baby. Shay was a baby, but we wasn't supposed to be here. Black people are still here. They done made predictions on Black Americans each time, like we weren't supposed to be here. And each time we were here, they never extinct. So this is the whole aspect. I'm gonna throw the ball out there. He's giving a prediction, saying something because words do matter. Trying to put it in our mind that by 2040 you got to follow Hispanics. But instead of us believing that, because that's how they do, it's a word salad. It's putting it in your mind. I think the one who deleted the Jews in Germany was saying this. If you lie to people long enough, they'll believe it. So put that in our back pocket, but don't take that as a definite for us, because it's basically putting in the staple. We got to work with them when we can say in our mind, no, we don't. No, he threw that out there. He not even gonna be here. The whites gonna be the minority. You gonna have to work with the Hispanics. It's like they're already trying to give us orders, and it's up to us to say, no, we ain't doing that. That's what you say. You gotta, but we ain't working with them. We need to abolish what they be saying, because how can you predict the
That's
future?
right.
It's time for us to say, nah, we're not doing that. You may have put that out there, but it ain't happening with us. It's time for us to say, nah, what we gonna do as Black Americans, we gonna learn to work with one another. We ain't working with no Hispanics, ain't no Black and brown unity. It's just us as Black Americans. Change the narrative, because what it sounds like is it's a mind control, word control. Put it out there. Everybody hearing it. You heard what he said? We got to work with the Hispanics. Yeah, no. So let us change the narrative. Black Americans going to have to start working with Black Americans and investing in Black Americans. He making a statement for the future, a future that he won't even be here for. It's time for us to hear what they saying, take it with a grain of salt, but move in the other direction that it will make it more profitable and economical for us. Instead of going by what they say, because it's like in some sense he was telling you what you got to do. Just like he was saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Be mindful of these with these catchphrases that they be throwing at us, and let us listen to it, but take it with a grain of salt and say, nah, we gonna do the opposite. Because whatever happens, we gonna do for Black American first. That's what needs to be put in our minds. Do that make sense? Exactly. If anybody listening,
complete sense. Makes complete sense.
Because they've been word salad to us for too long.
Why anybody will be taking advice from Joe Biden anyway?
Yeah, don't take nothing that none of them say, unless it's in benefit to us. No more letting them dictate to us anything. Here, this mother freaker, like Shay said, he either be going to meet his end, which will be with the hellfire, or he gonna be in some nursing home somewhere eating some fucking Jello pudding. He gonna tell us what we have to do. Now, what we need to say with that, we don't think so. The future is not the Hispanics, and the damn sure ain't no future for us. We got to learn, then say to one another, no, we'll work with ourselves and Black American only. I get what you're saying now. He throwing out catchphrases. And then everybody run with it. Well, Biden did say we got to work with the Hispanics. No, the hell we don't. That just means we've resolved one into another. And the good thing about it is, Shay, these Hispanics that they brought here is doing the opposite of what he's saying. They never knew. He did say, oh, the Hispanic community is widespread. They have different groups. But what he did fail to realize is that these different groups don't get along. They tearing each other up in these doggone homeless facilities. They tearing each other up along the border. They deleting each other. It's a mess. So all of this kumbaya that he thought for them being the future, yeah, they the future of destruction because they don't even get along. I think Mexicans ran Puerto Ricans out of California. They have their own cliques and their own groups, as well as they bringing a degeneracy here. They said that Hondurans and Venezuelans are tearing each other up in these homeless shelters. They got to watch their back. They literally deleting one another, fighting. So, yeah, that's the future that they talk, as well as going up into their communities and neighborhoods, robbing them and tearing shit up. Like Megan said, they need to go up in there. They wanted them here. They need to go all up in their communities and harass and debongle all of their stuff. They dropped them over here. That don't mean they ain't got legs and all of this transportation they giving them. I would say take y'all asses to the white people that brought y'all here and have a good time in their communities. They giving y'all cars and mopeds. Go on to the Mr. Whitey and get y'all happenings.
Go live in the
Yep, go live in Huh?
I say go to AOC house.
Exactly. She a Hispanic. Go live in the AOC's community. Go in all of their community and set up housing in tent cities and have a ball around the white people who giving y'all all of this money and revenue. They got more money in their homes. Go live up with them. They said they love immigrants. The immigrants are the future. Then y'all need to take y'all future endeavors and show them what y'all made of from these border countries, from the border. Show white America and these areas that bring you here, these so-called liberals, how hospitable, ask them how hospitable they can be with their residents and their space. Y'all need some beds. Y'all need their front yard, backyard, their roof.
Thank you. That's what I was just about to say. Open up your yard, your terraces. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let them come in and clean house. That's what they do. They good cleaners.
Yep, they good at cleaning houses. Go and help clean their house out. They got plenty of money. They got plenty of land. Head y'all immigrant asses down to where they at. Y'all got this more room.
Nancy got that good ice cream, that the Dove ice cream bars, Sub-Zero fridge. Go right to her
They got plenty of work, plenty of money.
And I love those too. That rich and thick vanilla ice cream, chocolate covered ice cream.
And again, they got plenty of work. They got plenty of money. They got plenty of land. Right. Y'all can go planting. Y'all can go get some money for cleaning their homes. Y'all can help them with car repairs. yard endeavors, cleaning and painting. Oh, it's plenty of place for that. They got plenty of empty houses too. Go and set up houses in the Hamptons. Y'all need to go ahead. It's not enough room in the city, but it's plenty there. Instead of stopping in New York, you can go straight. Go fast, go. Keep going. May they get a full bus and go, and y'all need to go in boatloads by the hundreds of thousands. The next 100 to 200,000, 300, I think the Hamptons are different. They can fit up to 500,000 people. But if y'all bunch up real good, about a good 6 to 800,000 of y'all can go up there. Y'all used to sleep in 5 to 10 to a room. Go and load up nice, warm, big mansions with huge rooms and plenty of bathrooms. You don't have to go turd on outside on the sidewalks. Go and make your presence known in all of these rich, illustrious, big areas. Go just take and go in the just go.
Yep, and
Like,
all the celebrity homes. Or remember all the celebrity advocates that was, running for Joe, advertising for Joe. Go to their homes too.
wow. Yep, go out there. Pinky said, out here, the Mexican born here in America are being deleted by the ones that are new. See, you don't have to even do that. Go out to bigger spots. Mm-hmm. Go to the very liberal places that you got plenty of spots to go out to. They got plenty of areas. They got their little bunkers hidden too. Y'all dig up underground like crazy. Go and find them bunkers. It's full of food. It's plenty here. Y'all like to drop. They a lot of them dig underground like moles. Go and find these bunkers and go under these bunkers in these areas. They got plenty of food that lasts for years. Y'all can finish up that since everything is being go and dig. Find go. Don't stop in New York and keep going to the areas the outskirts where they got big, huge homes. Lots of money, finances, plenty of place to grow. Ask them where the bunkers at. They got bunkers full of food. Go down there.
That's right. I wonder what's up with that with the tunnel. Like Arabs and Mexicans, they good at tunneling and stuff. Like I wonder where that came from. Like
I don't know. They dig like goddamn burrows. They be digging like moles. They be digging like groundhogs. So I say go and dig. Get your ass down there and start digging. You can find some of that shit and go down there. Remember when Abbott sent the people to the Hamptons? Yeah, I say this time, don't go. You go with the bus loads. Go on feet. Go walk halfway. It'll be a bunch of you. But about 300,000 to 600,000 y'all gonna wind up staying. Go ahead and down in the Hamptons, they got plenty of land. Go, don't stop. They said the Hamptons can handle another 500,000. I say double that number. Y'all can get down there by about 600,000 to 800,000. Y'all be good to go. Y'all can double up in there because how many sleep in a room? They can sleep 6 to 10 to a room. They'll be all right. Them mansions are huge. Ain't no more pooping outside. They got plenty of bathrooms. All of that. Y'all can be the new maids. Or if you don't want to be maids, y'all got plenty of services that they can utilize. With all of that, y'all can go on up there. There you go. Don't stop. Where's the other place? Y'all go to the Hamptons. Go back to the Hamptons. Make that your spot. Ask them where the bunkers at. They got food underground. Y'all like god dang rabbit moles. Get up out of there. Go all of these big rich places. Go here. It's plenty of land. They got plenty of land, plenty of money, plenty of food, plenty of resources. And they got power. They can help you out. That way, all of these shelters and stuff don't have to be overrocked in New York, and we can get the homeless people off the streets there, because there ain't no homeless people on the streets in Hampton, right? Right? Do you ladies agree? I don't think no homeless people on the streets in the Hamptons.
No. Absolutely not.
Well, they already sent them to the Hamptons one time.
They got wine and
time to return, because it ain't no homeless people in the Hamptons. And even if you send the like say for instance it's 500,000, they said you send 800,000 homeless. Go to the
Let's go squat. I'll take a whole bunch of them. Come on, y'all. There's a free house, free rent, and it's plenty of space.
And they said it's a lot of empty houses and lands. You can still have empty homes. You can have the house full. You can have tents out, nice tents, till they can build shelters. They can build. Go down there with them. And they got underground bunkers. Go and say where the bunkers full of food. Go down there. Share the wealth. Nobody would have to be, and they can clean up New York, and all of those homeless people who live in New York because they poverty stricken can go and live in those. Or the Hamptons can take the homeless people off the streets and put them down there. But they can't just have all of that land in them empty houses and leave people without a home. Do that make sense?
Nope, sure don't.
Now, either you take the immigrants or you take all of the homeless. Some cities in California, no homeless, the police will make them uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying. Nobody that is American should be on the streets. No one who's American,
That's right.
American should be on the street. So the Hamptons and these different places can either take Americans or they can take the immigrants. I say they take the immigrants. Take them.
That's right.
And then put our people in the homes that they got the migrants in. Nobody should be on the streets. Since they wanted them here and they so liberal about them being here, they need to live with them. That's what I say. No, they don't need to live with America. They need to live with them. Now, some of the veterans, give them the better hotels, like how they did the migrants, because they fought for this country. And then get everybody the medical help and the food and resources that they need. Nobody should be homeless. Americans should be first. But since all of these people wanted the migrants to come here, they can then go to these places like the Hamptons and stuff and let them front them. That's that. They can pay for the taxpayers already paid their money. So since they wanted them here to move and they wanted them to work here for them, they can go and live with them and they can pay for them. That makes sense to me. That's a win-win. They was the one who wanted them here.
That's right. They can have all the servants they want.
They can have all the servants that they want. All of there you go. They go your people. Put them right in the neighborhood and community with them. They need to start living with these people that they be requesting. About a good, they said 500,000 can live in the Hamptons. I think that's what they said. 100 or 500. They said the land and the areas either 250,000. Well, if it's 250, they can take a good 5,000. Take them mother freaks. They double up. There you go. Look it up. And wherever else is all these rich liberals, they live down there and they got bunkers. Go in the bunkers and get their food that they stored up for 25 to 50 years. Go and get some grub. They got plenty to feed them. It ain't no time to be hiding no food. You gotta feed these people. They can't eat air. They're your people. There they go.
And that's right. And they probably can tunnel under those bunkers.
Yep, tunnel under.
They don't know what they've done.
They know how to be like ground moles. Tunnel under. And when you go boom, that's when you done hit it. Climb back up to the top and go in there and get your shit. They got plenty of food, enough to last for 20 umpteen years. Did you see that boarded up in South Shore, part of Chicago? Now he's housing. Yeah, they doing all of that. Housing immigrants. Yeah, it's time for them to find their stash. Go live in one for the people who want them here, these upper crust liberals. I think Nancy Pelosi has multiple houses. She got one that she live in. She can give one to the immigrants. They can live there one summer and switch up. Remember they said one of these men asking for people to live in house the migrants. No, they can house the migrants. How about the mayor? Y'all mayor housed about 20 migrants in his house. Show by example. Don't talk. Be about it.
Right.
He can.
That's right. I would love to see Mayor Adams with about 50 people in his house.
Yep, he can house them. Show an example. They need to live with you. You need to provide for them too. That's what New Yorkers need to say. Show us by example. So if he take 50, then you be like, you know what? He's serious about this shit.
That's right.
Say, show us by example. You need to take about 50. Let's see you do it. You gotta feed them too. Let them live with you. They sleep on floors. You can put 10 to a room. I'm pretty sure he got a big ass house. He can put some tents in and feed them. Show by example. Don't tell us what to do. Show us by example. And y'all should see them suckers living with them until every last one of them get on their feet. And then he got to get 50 more since he brought them here. Nah, show by example, man.
Exactly.
Show them through you that they supposed to have a better life.
That's what you preach. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Practice what you preach. Start putting it out there. Mayor Adams, we want to see how many you gonna house. And these super rich people, they can do at least 100 per house.
Mm-hmm. The Kardashians. Oh, I wonder how many they can take.
They can take about 100. All of them with these big houses and land, because the way they stuffed up in it, the 100. If all of them take them like 50 to 100, that will wipe out a whole lot of stuff. They can say 50 to 100. 100. Put them in them underground bunkers. There go some spots. You don't get to do like live all hunky. They said a lot of them got bunkers. Put them in the bunkers. They got plenty of land on the top. They can put them tents there. You put some porta potties in the back. Get them a makeshift shower where they can go wash their ass and work. There you go. Each one of them can take about 50 to 100 each.
Not to change the subject, but did you hear that they're gonna try to put Michelle Obama up to run because they know Kamala Harris, is unacceptable?
I'm hearing this by rumor, but who's she gonna run with? Biden? He can't even talk.
No, they want her to run as president. That's the rumor.
Michelle
Obama?
Yes.
Now that would be a monkey wrench in the game. A real black American woman.
Oh my God.
Don't believe the hype.
I don't think so.
I might just wait up. Wait. And we don't.
They say yes, Michelle. I don't know.
Now you want some black folks to show up?
They know they're going to get a good chunk of black women who will do that. That's why they want to do that.
I was going to say that. That will.
Y'all got to stop being weak like that. Come on, man. You got to be smarter than that. What you think? No, she ain't going to do. She's going to continue the program. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm not
right. I'd be like Michelle Obama, the real black American woman. That would be the first black American. Now, here's the kicker, though. Remember what Joan Rivers said and what they try to say, though, about Michelle.
I know. I don't believe
about
that.
Being a training bra.
I know. I would not vote for her. I know a lot of black American seniors and some of those who are there, they would, but I would not, because she would continue on what Biden has been doing. Hey, Miss Angela, now that would be something.
Yeah, but although we have strong minds, we got to break that spell of dependency on the mule.
Color. Do not vote color. We have to get out of that. So if they try to pass the word, no, we not. We not voting for. Do not vote color. We got to vote policy. We done been fooled too many times. You ain't gonna give me no more cornbread, collard greens, and black eyed peas, and no more fucking French fries. We done.
That's right.
The only way she get in that office, the only way she promises us and signs it into legislation, we get $50 trillion to start for our reparations. And she has to sign a law of protection for black Americans only. She has to start off. No, I'll even be easy. 25 trillion to start. Specifically and only for black Americans, not all others.
That's right.
And we get land, housing, and laws, legislations, and protections for us. And they got to sign it in before we get into office. Before she get in the office. Before. And our money $25 trillion.
You'll never see it.
That's what I'm saying. So she can't promise that. No, she has to sign it into office before she get in there. That means Joe Biden got to sign it in now. You follow what I'm saying?
That's right. It's emergency now.
That's what I'm saying. Pinky, she will not do that. So therefore, don't vote for her. Because we've been through a lot with the Democrats. They have to give reparations up front. 25 trillion up front. Boom. More money to start in the future. Laws and legislations and protections specifically for us and only us as Black Americans. Period. Point blank. No tampons. And she ain't going to do that. And we want land and specific titles to businesses and contracts specifically for us and only us. No more use. And we want delineation. And we want full delineation from Africans in our own organizations where I mean, everything. We want the Kit Kat and the caboodle, and they not willing to do that. So therefore, don't you pull that liver for her black ass. And if she allowed them to use her to send us down the path of unrighteousness, that'll tell a lot about her as a Black American. And that'll let us know that the only thing about Obama that was Black was his wife and two children. But it is further note to us as Black Americans that, damn, we truly got this that's even of our own bloodline. And that's even more so what we got to watch out for. Our lady chance is to put Trump in office. Yeah, but they would have to come hard. But they know that with these suckers that we got now, they put Michelle up. These suckers would vote for her like a sucker.
Thank you. And then she had the opportunity. You know, she was an administrator in a hospital, so she knows all about the things that ail the Black community, and especially women, and especially being one herself. So I'm like, she
Mm-hmm.
did absolutely nothing. She did the lunch program. Okay, you did the lunch program, but she didn't expound on anything for adults, for seniors, for women. You know, she
Mm-mm.
did nothing. So based on her being the first lady, we've seen her having a lot of fun, dancing, her nice dresses, her and Barack gazing into each other's
Mm.
eyes. But what real policy? What did she come for? Nothing. School lunch.
Nothing.
Get up and move, y'all. Come on.
Do you think
But
she had? Do you think she had no way in Obama doing that? I'm wondering. To me, with everything that he has done, which was nothing for
Mm.
Black people, and then they did that movie. Y'all need to watch that movie, Left Behind. It's like, to me, are they trying to help us out? I don't know. I don't see that. I feel like he has a disdain for us, and I wonder about her. Do she? Because you have some Black people who don't like the Black community, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they one of those people. I know for a fact Oprah don't like Black Americans. I don't think so, with the way she exploits Black Americans. And I remember watching her and Gail talking, and they was talking about the trendy languages that's used. Some of it created by Black Americans, some of them created. And she was like, I have no desire. Like, she looks down on her people, but she exploits her people, and she elevates Africans and their degeneracy. She thinks Africans are better. That's what I see with Oprah Winfrey. And I wonder, and Barack and Obama stayed with Oprah Winfrey, and like minds stick together.
Mm-hmm.
you know what I see when I look at Barack and Oprah? I see people who maybe didn't fit in well and didn't know how to mesh with their own people. Well, you know, with people with Negro
Right,
Americans. And
right.
with Oprah, they dragged Oprah. I remember being a little girl because I was a huge fan of her. Black males dragged Oprah. She was fat and black and everything else until she got that money. Sinbad was good for dragging her. Sinbad said a lot about her and black women in general. Well, that's why I could never
Yep.
stand that man.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Black men.
I'm
Yep.
not saying anything that she's accused of, if she's done, you know, she'll get, you know, whatever's coming to her, karma will come to her. But I do remember the black community kind of dragging her. And then from Barack's experience. I remember in the movie when he got kind of like beat up by this another guy, like a male. He was concerned about his daughter, which he had every right to be, but he kind of whooped him up, and I think he took that, to heart. If you watch the movie, it was like after he got his behind kicked by a concerned black father or
Mhm.
whatever. You in the hallway with his daughter, he was concerned, and so he whooped him up. And it seemed like after he got whooped up, he was like, "F black people." If you are to believe that, movie, it was on Netflix. Did you see
I
it?
No, I didn't see that. I got to see that one.
Yeah, and I don't, like after that, it seemed like that's when he was like, "Forget black people," because he was trying to figure out how to fit in. He didn't know how to be black because he's not black. So he's trying.
He's
He had his little friend there trying to like guide him and help him. He was giving him pointers or whatever like that about like things he could do probably like to mesh more in. And he tried to
And
take
I
him to
think
this
he
house.
feels some type of disdain for us too, because to look at and be honest, he was raised by Irish mother and grandfather and grandmother and mother. I think they had a lot of rhetoric about black people, racism. Definitely his grandma, because he would say that she would talk stuff negative about black Americans. And as for Michelle, maybe they called her names too, because they do it now, calling her man and different things. And like what you said with Oprah, um, I kind of see the disdain that she has for black males, because black men did call her fat and black. Black in our community, that's something that they do. They do relegate on colors and hair texture and weight. Even though they'll date a fat, nasty white woman, they will talk about that. But that is something why I would wonder why she would always come at a lot of black men. So that makes sense. I believe that all of that will come to fruition now, but I don't think she still should have exploited. Did black women make fun of her, you think? Because she has a thing with black women too. I think with Oprah, I
It's
think
jealousy.
a lot of us as
It's-
black American women, I think Oprah feels like us as black American women defend the degeneracy of black American men. And we try to like,
Mhm.
can women cover it up? We do. We cover it up. They don't cover up nothing on us though. They'll call us all kinds of names with a child of God. But I think a lot of black American women fantasize about the myths of black American men. We try to make it false. Not to say we don't have no good black American men, but we have a lot of them that are degenerate, and we'll cover it up and act like, no, 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 it's because of slavery. No, 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 it's because of this. We always give it, but we don't get those same excuses when we as black American women make mistakes. It's like we have to be held accountable. They feel like they have to be held accountable, but we as black women say, well, maybe he's like this because of this, or maybe he's like that. I think that's what she feels a lot about the black community. And we'll be harder on us as black American women versus how hard we'll be on men. Even though men feel like they catch it from us, I think black American women catch it the worst in this community, especially if you're of a darker hue. And if she caught that backlash, that would make sense. A lot of the vitriol that she may have.
Yeah, and do you remember too when when uh, she was doing the Oprah show and she went down to this farm to find out why the cows were breaking out with the E. coli, and
Mm-hmm.
the Klan put like a hit out on Oprah,
I
and
heard.
she had to go to the Nation of Islam. It's like black people wasn't speaking up and whatever for her at that point either, and
Mm-hmm.
that I wonder about different things like that when traumatic things happen like that because she was scared. They were really like making death threats to Oprah. The Klan. The
Mm-hmm.
Klan was, there was the how you say that the remnants or whatever. If I use the right word, they were still like fragmented. They weren't huge as they were, but they were fragmented. They were still around. You know, so she went through
Mm-hmm.
some it, but it's not
Yeah.
right for her to expose people and do any of the things that she's accused of. It's not right. I don't like the thing with her and Taraji either.
Mm-hmm. Kiki Palmer, what's her name? Pinky Wells said black men start as boys talk bad to light skin too. If you black, you catch it. You catch their ish. Yeah. Which is something we do. We busting out whatchamacall. Oprah is listening to her white masters. I think so. Something ain't right though. But I remember Maya Angelou. She was really close to Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou was on the up and up. I think she was trying to get to her. I think Oprah dealt with a lot of pain, and that pain basically did come from our community. That's a fact. We can be hard on one another as a people, and in that being hard can cause it's a for every action there's a reaction. Just like we were hard on what's his name I think what's her name did a show on it. Yvette Carnell, Clarence Thomas. He started out trying to be a voice for Black Americans, but we too were hard up, and he became a Republican. We too were hard in the niche of this Democratic thing. So it's like we do have to look at when people did try to warn us, like Ben Carson, like Clarence Thomas, we kind of did turn against these people. And now look where it has gotten us. So it's like maybe they said, and I'm not talking about Jesse Jackson or any of them. Maybe when Black Americans do have a different mindset, we do have a tendency from this party and this mindset of racism to turn our back on them and call them coons. And then we got to look at the elephant in the room. I think what's his name was saying it. Ty was saying it. We have a lot of melanated people who was in the forefront. A lot of religious leaders, I'm not going to say their name, Bean Pie, my brother and sister, they not Americans, and they have an anti white, America stance. But yet in Pan-Africanism, Africans and Caribbeans can enjoy the fruits of America. But when Black Americans hold on and state their claims as being true Americans, we're called being whitewashed. So it's a lot that have been in the forefront against us as Black people.
So true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
I
said.
got 10 on it.
Somebody said. Pinky said, "I expect Oprah to be how she is now. Blacks treated her foul, and I would be like her too." Yeah, I think we could, because we'll forgive a man. I want to hear her reason. I'm not going to condemn Oprah yet. Not that.
Well,
Not that.
Oprah has the answer to the Epsteins, like the other celebrities who's been on the island and been friends with the human traffic pedophiles.
Well,
Okay.
if we don't say that, we can talk about the men who've been there and who've been
Yeah, the
participating.
men too. But yeah,
Yeah.
of course we could talk about the men because the men would be the first one who comes to mind.
No, we actually would be harder on her as a woman. I would say as a woman, we gonna watch out and see what was her reason as a woman. Cause as men, we tend to pamper the men. Let's stop the bullshit. We'll come at
Yep.
her harder as women than we would as
Yep.
men. We are some bitches.
Yep. That's the truth.
I'm sorry. Fuck that shit. I want to know her reason before I condemn her. And men will pile in while we pile in. Back our Black asses up and figure out as sister to sister, why are you like that? Because if somebody was coming at me, maybe we would act like that, especially being in the forefront. No, I don't agree with her upholding quote unquote white men. But in the same token, what have Black men done that she may have come out like that? And we as Black American women, we bitches to our own. It's time for us to start being of self-interest for us as women, because we ain't been called nothing too nice under this regime either. We had men in our community. Oprah ain't made no songs to call Black women bitches and make a ton of money. She may have made $1 billion, but she ain't make $1 billion calling us bitches and whores. And she damn sure didn't sell off our identity. Now I'm not excusing her, but we do need to look into some stuff before we string her up. Let's figure it out, because I would like to know. Because I think we'll be more eager to forgive Kobe or all of them, even though he done lost his life and left here. But we'll forgive a man in our community quicker than we will women. That's a fact.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm not for that no more. I'm for preserving us as Black women. Black women have to have a separation to a degree. I was watching last night a village of women in Africa who got tired of getting beat down. Now they in a setting that's less progressive as ours, and they have made up in their mind to set their own community. I said, well, I'll be damned, because the men be beating their ass and doing all kinds of lascivious stuff to them. So this village, women can live in peace and run it themselves and make a living for themselves. And the village was less chaotic and it's protected. I said, well, I'll be damned. These women came in their mind and they come from a society that's less progressive as ours. And and not all of the women have left. These are for the women who can't tolerate the nonsense that keeps going on. They left. And it make you wonder, damn, how do the women know how to separate from certain things to get peace of mind? And one of the women said, I don't have to worry about getting beat. I take care of my child, or my child is older now, so now I can sleep longer. I can do my business. I can work. I feel at peace. I'm finally getting rest. I said to myself, well, what the hell? You gotta see this shit.
You be watching those videos too, huh? Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I said these women are in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting
She said, I'm
femicide.
tired of getting beat. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. South Africa is the worst. They're worse than West Africa. They
With the way they treat their women.
Yeah, they are exterminating chicks in South Africa like it is nobody's business, and nobody's talking about it or nothing. And it's very
And they
sad.
want to try to bring that behavior here. I wish the hell in the name of the Almighty, take them out, take them out. And them primitive mother freakers are over here talking in these manosphere and divester spaces. These African women are trying to hide behind blackness, and those manosphere men are African and Caribbeans with a few sprinkles of Black American men. It's just something to say. I'm not saying I'm excusing Oprah, but I want to know what she got to say before I condemn her, because as Black women, we good for putting foot to ass on ourselves. Men are one thing I've learned about Black American men, they have self-interest first. And I think at some point Black women have to have that. Yes, we do need to have a collective thought pattern on how we move as a people, but Black American women need to be a little bit slow to condemn our own women from within our ethnic group. No, let's hear them out first. He don't get to make that charge, because we know in this community we have had some brutal things said to us and vice versa, but let's keep in mind that he ain't the only one that went through slavery. We both did, and we both suffered the effects of it too. This ain't no competition, but we not gonna throw her under bus and pick his ass up either. We gonna see what's happening with her, because we all we got is Black women. Just saying. She, even with everything that's going on with her and Monique, she ain't even willing to throw her under the bus like that. I mean, even though she let it be known, oh, we got some shit with her, but she did say, if someone was willing to forgive me, I would have to be willing to forgive. I just want to know where she coming from, because they did. You was right, Sinbad. Everybody used to bust horrible on Oprah, and on this in this community, I remember they did do that. And Black women.
The women who don't growing. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, imagine the young girls and the women who didn't have support. Like you had a strong support system. I did. Imagine those who didn't, how they took that internally.
And Oprah never had a strong support system, ever. She did not. Her and her mother were not close. She got pregnant at 14. A lot of treacherous shit happened. And I get it, Angela Walker. Africans are not our problem. I was just using an example of how they moved. And that's what I was saying. That even they had enough common sense to know when not to stand by nonsense. It's like sometimes even them in that state where they're coming from, that is not as moderate as ours, they even had the sense to say, enough is enough. When as Black American women will we have that sense to say the same? That's my point. It has to be a point where we have an exclusivity amongst us as Black American sisters. Yes, we do stand with our men as a collective because of our ethnic group, but that does not negate the fact that they have the right to mistreat us and we have the right to mistreat them. There's a point that you do have a right as an individual and human being to say, yes, this is the man from my ethnic group, but that does not mean I have to take his abuse or his nonsense. At some point in time, we have to stand up and say, I'm not going for that. You're not going to write a song calling me a bitch and then want to get mad when you see a bunch of women twerking all over the place. Every action has a reaction. I think as a collective, as women in this community, we needed to say, no, we're not having my image twerking, or you calling me a bitch, or you calling me a hoe. Different things we have to take a stance on, and different things he needs to take a stance on as a man. But this man who went out of his way, Jesse Jackson, to change our name to African, what was his premise on that? And what did he gain from that? Because we followed our men. We did. We followed our men. We stood beside our men. And then we had a man backstab us and change our name from black to African. So we have to look at all of this in the forefront. Now, as women, we need to make the choice and the stance to say, no, we're not following piss poor leadership, because we suffer the consequences as a collective of women. So that's why I brought up those African women. They made the choice to say, even in their state that is not as progressive or as moderate as ours, to say, I'm not taking this. I'm going to go on my own. That's deep. That speaks volumes. But yeah, we still following behind this nonsense. And then they brought in others with all kinds of crazy religious ideologies and all kinds of ideologies. And look at where we are today. Nothing. We don't even have no support. And these same men are still getting a bag and still trying to shovel us bullshit. But before we condemn, we need to figure out what's going on. If they got caught up, and that's even, but more so with women, because she's a woman from our group, even though she thinks she African. She'll find out in soon enough time that she ain't no African.
Who, Oprah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
Oprah,
found. You ain't seen when she got the paper? It was a hoax. She said she was part of Zulu or something like that. He told, yeah, you're from the Zulu tribe. She found out it was fake. I was crying.
Like, oh God.
Really?
She thought she was a damn Zulu. That shit, I am Nigerian. Nah, bitch. Hey, we ain't none of that. We ain't no African. We ain't none of that. And Africans are beautiful, wonderful people. I wish you the prosperity to work very hard in America and contribute to the Black American struggle. All of the money that you have gained and received, may it come back into our pockets 70 times 77 fold into the pockets of Black Americans. And we made it here possible for you to come. We love Africans and Caribbeans. May you all have a prosperous life to give us all of this prosperity that you gain, because we've given you a life here in America. We've provided that you can come here and succeed. May it succeed and we prosper even more so than you. May we prosper from all immigrants to the fullest, because they have gotten off on our our ancestors and the legacies that we've set before us, our ancestors have done. So we need to prosper as Black Americans to the fullest for all of those who come here and benefit off of our lineage and off of our resources. May we now benefit from now on in the future to come to the fullest. That's what I want for us. Yes, look, BSIA, a lot of Black women have done work. Have lived in the village. That is true. A lot of Black women have done with those African. I was just looking at their pinky because they did a village thing. They did it as a collective together. That's something that we don't do. We do it, and I do find. I don't know. I was looking at it, and this woman, she was over 50, and it's becoming a growing trend. It's starting to be where they're younger. They're going into a life of extrovert. They're being introvert, not extrovert, introvert. Black women are becoming more introvert and taking care of self. And she wasn't saying it to live a life of loneliness. She was saying to go and get her inner peace. And she says that she's finding that it's becoming a trend that more Black women are living a life of peace. They're becoming more introvert. Black American women. And she is a Black American woman. And she said, my descendants have been here for many eons. Since the beginning or whatever, and she's a Black American, and she said, and I give homage and honor to my grandmothers and my great grandmothers and the whole 9 yards. I was listening to it when I was on the phone with Shay, and I was like, wow. She said she's finding that more women are finding solitude to preserve. And she was speaking about self-care, guarding their peace of mind. She has a station. I'll find it out. And the next time we have a live, I'll put it up. I was like, oh shit. And she said it's becoming like a trend. I'll say for black women who are single, if you're single, young women are putting self first. Yeah, that's what I'm loving. Put self first, self-preservation, self-care, self-love. It's becoming a trend, and it's becoming more evident with black American women who descend from United States chattel slavery. That's something that we need to press on with us in our group as millennials, as Generation X, as well as teach us that have self-preservation. We
Yeah.
don't want to be going out of here with strokes and heart attacks and worrisome. We got enough on our mind than to be dealing with that. Put yourself first. Black women need to do that. We've been putting everybody first before us. It's time for us to put our self-interest first. And if you're a black woman who's married, still take that time to make sure you have more time for yourself. Because if you can't take care of yourself and you're not in good health, how can you provide in a good way for your family? Hey, Miss D. So this is stuff we do need to do. I think we as black American, when we used to put the children first, the family, this, that, and the other, and we was only giving us 10%. A lot of black women lost their lives behind that bullshit. Now you better give yourself at least 75% and 25% to other stuff if you want to survive, especially now coming up. I missed a lot of the. You can go back and watch it, Miss D. Miss D had a hard time coming up the last time, Ray. She kept popping down, popping down, popping down, popping down. So I'm trying to get more consistence. Keep me in good prayer for those who can pray, who are about praying, because Shay will tell you a lot of times I be like, I ain't coming up. I ain't coming up. I'm one of them ones I just be in a ball because there's so much that I be trying to absorb, and it was a lot for me just to get these pictures up. The next step I'm going to learn how to do is get videos up. And of course, I want more women to come up because it's not going to be just me talking. We're all going to have our what we have to say. So even if you can come up for a moment, just have a say, and your train of thought, I can read the chat. But a lot of times, I would like more women to come up, like Ray, like Shay, like Kay. Y'all all A's. What the fuck, Ray, Shay, Kay? What's up with that?
So bad if they know this, we could have played them.
Talking about damn. I gotta figure out. That's what I'm trying to learn how to do on my computer, because this is not just my station. This is a station for women where we can really talk about issues. We don't have to agree, but we do have to talk about the problem. And in talking about the problem, we have to find solutions. And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but we got to start talking about it, sorting it out, and then finding avenues on how to find solutions. We give ideas, and then we're going to have to start away and implementing those ideas. We're going to have to put it into to action. And all of us have some form of talent or some type of skill where we can do this. And that's going to relegate some type of faith in the Almighty, because I believe in God, and trust that we can do the right thing. Faith that we can do the right thing, because I don't have no trust in no man, but we're going to have some faith and trust in each other to a degree in order to do what we have to do for one another as black women, because a lot of black women are hurting. And we don't live in the same cities. So we're going to have to form that camaraderie from city to state. That's something we're going to have to learn how to do. This is because, like Shay was saying, these immigrants are coming here with all of their degeneracy, but they find a way to stick together. Even in they foul shit, they sticking together. And black Americans is like, we don't have that camaraderie and trust in one another. We do support when it comes to certain outside things. I think we support more other people. We're supporting more people outside of our group than we've done in our group on a personal basis. Like, we'll support their restaurants to a degree. We'll support like their business endeavors to a degree, but we don't support each other mentally. Mentally, we're going to have to do that. Have some type of way in which we can talk, especially as black women, having that sisterhood. Get on the same vibes with sisters who think the same way you do, or even if they think differently. You can get more, it can broaden your horizons. We're going to have to learn how to talk across the lines. And we definitely going to have to learn to talk across the lines, whether we light, dark, in between, because I feel like in our group, our men tend to, this is my opinion, our men tend to push that on us. well, the dark skinned ones are this way and the light skinned ones are that way. We have to take control of that. That's something that we do have in our group from time to time. But I think as Black American women, we don't relish in the skin color thing so much when it comes to us raising our children. But when it comes to the male factor, that's when I always notice it comes to be a problem because men will push that. They push it in different avenues. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we'll have more talk on that to get some clarity because they have their little shady ways in which they do stuff. Because I feel like men, maybe it's me, will try to divide us because if Black women really talk across the board, we'll be more on their ass than a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. That's something we have above a lot of groups. If we do come together as a collective, Black men will be more held accountable by us as a collective. You follow what I'm saying? Do y'all agree or disagree?
No, I definitely agree. Yeah, they definitely instigate. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they instigate. And then when they instigate, no, you just feel like that. And then we arguing and they ease their way out the conversation. See, y'all arguing, it's jealousy. Not when you are Black women and say, for instance, you're a darker woman with a lighter skinned daughter, or vice versa, you're a light skinned woman with a dark skinned daughter. We have to have a code between ourselves that when they start playing that, we know, we see what you're doing. We see you. You starting your shit. We ain't going for it. We have to do that. And again, be mindful of what we follow when we know a brother is sick and on his own agenda. We should not be following no more Jesse Jacksons. And definitely anybody who's an immigrant male, it should be cut directly off our list. Not as no leadership. We will not follow that ever again. Get out of their churches. Get out of their organizations. If they immigrants, do not support them in any way. Unless that's your personal husband, your mate, that's different. But as our leadership, absolutely not. I would agree with Megan on that. Anybody's an immigrant coming here, we should not be following, supporting as a collective like that. That has to stop. We see now that the trend has changed, not on a political, religious level, none of that. They can't lead us in any way, fashion, or form. I don't care who it is. Come out of their churches. I feel like, to me, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. You an immigrant over here, you preaching all of this stuff. You coming from a country that got all of that degeneracy. I feel like you should be over there preaching to them. That's like a form of leadership and mind changing. So if you got a church of 3,000 members, go to your own country and try to lead your own people into some form of righteousness or whatever the case may be, where they can have more of a concrete and stable mindset. We shouldn't be filling up their churches over here. They need to be doing that in their country. We definitely ain't following nobody on a political realm, not a spirit, not a religious realm, political realm. If you want to be with an individual because y'all have made a cognitive decision to become one, you and him or you and her, that's different because that's two individuals that decide to come together. But when it comes to us as a collective to prosper as a people, nah, hell no. They ain't allowed in the forefront. That's where we get exclusive and less inclusive. We got to practice that as women. And we also have to negate and we have to how you say be very conscious of who is a Black woman in our community. I feel like a Black woman comes from a Black woman. A Black woman is born from a Black woman. Period. Anything born from a Black woman's womb is Black. It may be part black, but that's Black. Anything that comes outside of a Black woman's womb is not a Black woman. They may be part Black because they come from him, but they're not a Black woman. You have to come from a Black woman to get the spirit of a Black woman, to know what it is to be a Black woman, to move as a Black woman. I don't think a white woman, an Asian woman, a Hispanic woman, or any other woman, Caribbean woman, African woman can teach the spirit of what it is to be a Black woman. That's my opinion. What do y'all think?
Yeah, how could they? Where would they get the information from? Like I don't know. They couldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't like to ostracize though. I feel like I hate the divide because I know the history that, with
Mhm.
biracials, they would come back and feed us information that would help us. And I feel like
I agree.
because, we don't have that relationship with them anymore, and it's sad, that we don't.
You want to know why?
Yeah, I would like to know why, because I don't understand.
You want to know why? They're forming a group because a lot of times, let me tell you why. This could be part of the reason why they don't have those black fathers and the relationships are hostile. You see how sometimes he makes us single moms in this community? It has happened in their community. So, in traveling in their spaces, they have a vitriol because sometimes these men, and I'm only talking about the men in our group, may sleep with women who are very racist. And these women will procreate with these men knowing that their family is racist. And in a lot of cases, the black men are not in the home to teach these children about their black side. So then when they have to go with the mother and she feels scorned, and then she has to bring this child back that is not something that white people wanted in their community, who you think gets the flag? Who do you
Okay,
think gets
yeah.
the flag? That's what's happening. So now a lot of the younger black girls are not like us. We're the compassionate one. I'm not sure if you're millennial or Generation Z. So we'll say, oh, well, we'll accept these children. And we've been doing that. But see, the new generation to come and say, no, I'm not accepting that. I'm not dealing with that.
Well, you
Because
said
they
me?
don't
I'm
feel
Generation X. I'm
I'm,
47.
okay, so you're X. Because I wasn't sure if you were millennial generation. So that's what's happening. And so now a lot of them as they will say, I heard one white girl was saying she's bi-ethnic and her mom is white, her dad is black. I said, well, why don't you feel the need to be black, white, not black, be white? Because she comes from a white woman. Well, they don't accept us in that. They're not going to. So automatically, the mother and her resentment. I'm not saying that that was her mom, but a lot of mothers in their resentment will then send forth these younger people to come and attack the black community versus us having that good relationship. They have to take it out on someone. And black women don't have the time. We didn't do it. We didn't procreate these children. And a lot of them don't really have no hostility towards us, but I did hear them say that a lot of us feel jealous of biracial women. I don't think black women feel jealous of it. That was what we were having in the beginning. We were having so many biracial kids, it wasn't funny. That was just normal because the master would lay up with a lot of women back then. So if anybody knows what it is to have bi-ethnic children, but our children were classified as black, it would be us. So it's not no jealousy there. So I see it as a projection. The projection is that a lot of these women want to be black. She tries to live vicariously through her daughter, who is confused about what it is to be black because the white mother can't teach a white girl, cannot teach the child how to be black. She's not black. The first one to teach a child is the mother. Even Farrakhan had it right. To raise a man is to raise an individual. To raise a woman is to raise a nation. We can't go back and raise her daughter. I'm not cutting her off, but she's not black. She needs to identify with the white womb that she comes out of. And it's sad that you can't accept the child that you gave birth to. Your child should be relating to white because she comes from a white mother. And then she should have some conscience about her black community. We don't need to accept them as a whole, though. That's something that and it's not just white, it's all of them. This is happening with also Asians. Black women are taking on too much. It's not alienating them. It's giving them, you have to let them know where their place is at. And it's not with us. When we take on them burdens, it's no different than us taking on the burdens of a lot of these Africans and Caribbeans who come here who say they suffer from colorism. You see, everybody wants to dump their junk on Black Americans, especially Black American women, because like these two young people came on BSI's podcast, we represent hope. But at this present moment, we need to be selfish. That's why I said Black American women need to accept only the children that come from their womb. We can also accept those other children on an individual level because that may be your granddaughter or your niece or whatever. But when it comes to the collective of who is a Black American woman comes from a Black American woman. I don't see why an Asian woman, if she's having a child by a Black man, why wouldn't your child be Asian first? You carried it for 9 months. But you throw it over here in the Black community because you know it's not accepted in your community. We have to have some form of exclusivity. Because if he wanted a Black child, he would have had it by a Black woman. Even a white man said that. Megan played that. 2 white people have white children. 2 Black people have Black children. And if you go on the bi-ethnic side of things, then my child would be bi-ethnic Black because I'm a Black woman. I'm going to teach my child more about my culture because that's what I come from. and she would teach her child more about her culture because that's where he or she comes from. But they will have a spice of the Black American culture, and our child will have more of the Black American culture because it comes from us, with a spice of another culture if that man is outside of our ethnic group.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I
we're
get it.
there.
They
You
were
get what I'm
birthed by
saying?
our racials back in history were birthed from Black women, so maybe that's
Exactly.
why they the alliance.
Right. They're
So
not our children. Most of those children are not our children. Because Black American women, when slavery ended, we don't have children by white men like that no more. The melanated women that you see with white men are African and Caribbeans. It's not Black American women. So you would have the stance of what we had with Frederick Douglass and all of them. They came from Black women. So that child is gonna deviate, is gonna cleave more to the Black American community because it comes from a Black American mother. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying reject them, but they're not our children. And I feel like we have a right to do this because white women do it, Asian women do it. An Asian woman will not call something that comes from her coochie, but yet it's from a Black man, Asian. She'll call it Black. No, heifer. It's Asian with a splash of Black. It's coming from you. Don't throw it over here because, and then she wants to come over and say, well, how do I do the child's hair? Do we go over to their community to figure out how to do our child's hair? Think about it. If you have a child by a white man, an Asian man, or Hispanic man, do you go over to their community and say, how do I do my child's hair? Think about that shit. I want y'all to think long and hard.
no, we know how to do any texture. No, we don't.
Exactly. So as a white woman, when you decide to spring open your legs to a Black man or whatever, you need to figure it out. Didn't we have to figure it out? Why are we thrown it?
Right.
And I mean this just like I'm saying, that's not my child. See, that's that slavery shit. Here, I'm gonna give birth to it, but I want you to take care of it. Tell me what to do. Get the fuck out of here. You chose to have it. She's been here long enough to know the ins and out of our community because we was raised together. If you don't know what to do with this child that you're having, don't come to nobody else and ask for help. And we as Black American women, I'm talking about us, need to not give that help. Do we go to the white community and say, how do I raise this part white child? We don't do that. How do I raise this part Asian child? That's his responsibility because you want to know why? Because we accept our child as being Black, because you're going to raise it Black first and then he'll add on his cultural pretenses. No, this bitch wants to throw her child all the way over here. And a lot of Black men are more than welcome to bring it. No, when you decide to go and fuck these women and have kids by them, now I'm getting a little rash. You and her need to figure out what it needs to be. And it's white. It is white because it comes from a white woman with a touch of Black, because she's going to raise it. If she's German, Irish, Italian, whatever, it should be over there. No, they come over here, and then we as Black women, oh no, we need to stop that because none of their communities do that with us. None. This is the stuff that stresses us out as Black women. We are so giving and so loving. We'll be like, okay, they can come over. No, I'm not saying not to love your grandchild or your niece or whatever, or your brother's child or whatever the fuck it is. But we don't accept it as Black. No, it is white. It's by ethnic white. The mother's white is by ethnic white. The mother's Asian is by ethnic Asian. It should not be called Black. That is not a Black woman. That is not a Black man. It comes from all these other groups of women. But this is the slick shit Black Americans men have been playing on Black American women. Just to let you know. No other group allows this. That's why they have a hostility. Because when they are birthed by these Asian women, the community does not accept them. But that's not our problem. That's the problem between her and the melanated man that she decided to lay with, because she knows full well what her community will and will not accept. You follow? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I would agree, Angela. You have to have two Black men, but my child, even if he or she has a father of a different ethnic group, it will be raised under my ethnic group cultural pretenses. It will be by ethnic Black because we're raising our children. That's where I'm at. We need to call African, Kenyan Americans, Congolese Americans, youth, yeah, etc. Yeah, exactly. Not Black Americans, exactly. And I say put citizens in America. They're not Americans. They're citizens. Kenyan citizens in America. Put citizens because we're the only Americans. Don't put us on the level of citizens, and don't put them on the level of Americans.
Hey,
They're
hey,
citizens Americans. Yeah, Black Americans are the only Black, but they're citizens. When you say Kenyan citizens in America, Congolese citizens in America, they're citizens, and we're Black Americans. They're citizens in Americans. They're not Americans. They're citizens. Because when you're saying Congolese, that's not such that that's saying they're a country in a country. No, they're Congolese citizens in America. Put that citizens on there because if they're Congolese, that means they come from Congolese and they're Congolese before they're Americans. So they're Congolese citizens in Americans. They're citizens. They're not Americans. We need to make sure we stress that they're not Americans. They're citizens in America. Coming from a whole country. You're a citizen in America. Period. Black Americans
or
are
resident.
the Americans. We're the only Blacks. What were you saying?
No, I just said or resident because sometimes they're not citizens, sometimes they're residents.
Yep. Congolese residents in America, Congolese citizens in America. But make sure we make their separations. They're citizens. We're the only Americans. Yeah, we're the healers, but it's time to use our healing on us. That's why I put that up there. But that's what I was saying. They're bi ethnic, but we need to stop accepting them. We don't have to alienate. We don't have to be cruel because at the end of the day, they are part of our ethnic group, but they are coming from another woman. So we need to stress you're from another woman, just like we stress if it's from another man, but that child raised by a Black American woman. I'm not going to raise my child like a white woman because I don't know what it is to be white. Just like she don't know what it is to be Black. And I've noticed that a lot of times they'll be online. I don't know how to do my child's hair. And what do I do? Or the Black man be on there. She don't like when I braid my child's hair. Well, maybe she don't like that because she's a white woman. A white woman, even though her child has a spice of Black, wants to see her child looking like a what? A white woman. She's going to raise it with more attributes of a white woman. I don't think they look into that. And then when she tries to raise it Black, it's kind of why you think Kim Kardashian's kids are having a problem with her, because Kim Kardashian has no fucking idea what it is to be a Black woman. You ever see how rude her daughter is with her? That should be funny. She's real resentful, but real loving when it comes to her daddy. Because it's like she's missing something. What the way the world looks at her is not going to, the way they look at her is not the way they're going to look at her mom. And I think that little girl knows her mom living foul somewhat. I don't know. She be real cocky with her mother. But I notice how Beyonce, as a Black American woman, even with all the flaws and the faults that may be going on in their relationship, I notice how she has a centered essence of control when it comes to her daughter. Her daughter knows her place as mother and daughter. And I notice how Kim Kardashian's daughter talks to her. She allows, how would I say? She allows Blue to have a say, but I seen her check her like it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it was like she was backing her down, like you mind your place. You a child now. That's a
Right.
Black woman. I didn't
Yep.
see that with Kim Kardashian. She was like, you're not over here to over talk anybody. But it's like, and then I saw when she was getting her way up and she kind of pulled her hair gently, like you better back that junk down. What you think you're doing? And Beyonce even talks about how her mom raised her. It was a certain way that Beyonce, she got into feeling herself, and she saw the boys, and she saw the boys. Her mama came with a backhand slap. That was that Creole shit. Like, what the fuck you think is going on? It's
That's
only
right.
a way a Black woman can move. They're not our kids. That's all I'm saying. We're not saying that we can be. It has to be a line of exclusivity. I call anything that comes out of a Black American woman's womb Black. That's it. I'm not accepting nobody else's child. To say if my son or daughter was, or my son was to have a child by another woman, I'm gonna love my grandchild, but she's not Black. If her mother's not Black, you follow what I'm saying? You can love
Yeah.
this baby, but you ain't Black.
Right.
My aunt told her grandbaby the same thing. She was part Italian. She said, "Listen here, sweetie. Your daddy Black, but your mama Italian." She reminded her that you're not a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
You got black in you, but you ain't black. Your mama's Italian, but you're raised by your grandma who's a big black woman. But you ain't black. You come from your mama's Italian. And that hair that's on your head is prone to lice. So we need to do you different. She let it be known. You ain't gonna have that shit on my pillow. She let her be known. And she said, Grandma love you, but you like you got the mama. You got our hair, but you got them white people hair. And it's prone to lice. We need different products with your shit. Yes, she did. She I was like, damn. She let both her Hispanic grandbaby notice. Both you two ain't got our black hair. Y'all prone to lice. I'm not used to that shit up on my pillow. God rest her soul. I love how she let her grandbabies know. Y'all lice prone.
Yeah,
I
that
used
egg killing shampoo.
we not having that. Get some grease. We ain't having that shit up in here. She let it be known. Your mama is this. And my cousin, who was part Hispanic, her mother was black, but her father was Hispanic. But that goes, but she let them know. No, you know more of what it is to be black. You come out of black coochie. Your mama, you come out of white. She let her know. Your daddy black, and you've been raised by me, but your mama white. She never let her know. She never said you black. No, your mama white. You part white. You're Italian. And she let her go over there. That's your white people. When she come back, her hair be standing all on top of her head with the hairspray, because that's what white women do. She had her hair sprayed up, and she had a lot of hair because on my side we got a hair full of hair. And then added with her hair, she said, "Who that child with that big ass hair?" It was her grandbaby. They done put all of this hairspray. She said, "God damn! Every time she come from them damn people, she gotta wash that shit out of her hair."
The Italians love big hair. Yeah.
She had big ass hair. I was like, "Damn."
Oh yeah.
And they used to say, "Oh, I want her." Her aunt was like, "I want a baby to look just like her." She said, "Well, you have to go the other direction, and your husband is Italian, so your baby ain't gonna look like this. Her daddy black. God rest her son's soul." Yep, my aunt raised her grandbaby because her mother was on that shit. But she never told her that she was all black. She said, "No, your mama white, your mama Italian to be exact." That's confusing. And that came from a black woman not letting her forget. Yes, you're raised by a black woman. Your grandmom is black. I'm black. Your daddy black. But your mama white. She's Italian. Stop lying. And then the other ones, they got white black mothers with a white father. So they going to relate more to black. They black mama. So that's something that we don't have to accept. It's like we gotta accept the that's why you're getting the closeness not being so close. Because we have to make that separation. White women, Hispanic women, Asian women, you need to find a way to incorporate your child that you chose to have outside of your ethnic group into your group. And then this child will be able to glide better. But you don't throw them over into us, teach them how to be black. What the hell does this look like? No, it's part of you. And then that child is wondering, well, why can't I be accepted in that community? That don't make no sense. Especially when two people decide to make a choice to be together, whether they're by ethnic, you should be able to teach them about both cultures. And if that person is not around, then they're not going to get that full experience. So if he's not around, they're not going to get that full experience. If she's not around, they're not going to get that experience. But they can't be dumped on us as Black American women. No. I'm not jealous of them hair. Yeah, that's some of the things that she was that happened and when we was coming up as kids. It was funny. I always thought she would say she was black. She said, your mama Italian. You ain't all fully your mama Italian. And she made sure she went around and people to see it too. This your people too. That's how you get a child and know they're not confused. But don't be dumping them over here and then asking us how you do the hair. Motherfucker, you should be learning how to do that when you get knocked up by them. What the hell we look like? We ain't no, is this the master we sit? Wait a minute. We need all African queen. Yep. We have been talking for a long time. Shay looked like she felt Black Americans are the only black. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
How is it in New York? said it's warm where
Man,
is it warm there?
huh?
I did.
Shay said it's warm where she's at. Is it warm there, Ray Ray?
Oh yes, it was a good day today. It was pretty good today. I know the snow is probably
58
gonna come
degrees.
too warm, so the
It was
Yeah,
snow is
too
that's too
coming.
warm.
that's scary. I don't know what the temperature was here. Let me look. I think it was higher than normal, but I don't know. These weather patterns is off the chain in a lot of ways too. I ain't gonna lie.
Well,
I definitely enjoyed y'all. I'm gonna drop off.
I'm gonna drop off too. We're about to end. Let us close. It is now 4 o'clock. We did a good live. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Ray Ray. Make sure y'all come every Saturday because I will have a live every Saturday. Shay be not let me give off, and I'm gonna try to do some on Thursday. But we have one on Saturday. So here it is. So that one should be a little interesting. Come with all your information on hair and all of that stuff so we can talk about that because black men are always talking about our hair. And I figure that's a good one. And others are talking about our hair and our hair texture. So we got a lot that we could talk about with that because hair seems to be a big subject in our community. And I would really like to elaborate on that, whether it's natural, weave, wigs, bald, whatever the hell, we're gonna talk about hair. We gotta in some myths and mythologies in reference to that. So we're going to end this live. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday morning. Ladies, please be safe. Return on this Saturday because the next live will be So Here It Is. I hope to see you, Ray Ray. I hope to see you, Kay, Shay, everybody else in the chat. Thanks for your support. All of those in the crowd, make sure you like, share, and subscribe and give ideas. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for commenting, Pinky. More people need to comment in the comment section, whether it's negative, positive, or whatever. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I need more subscribers, and I would like my likes to be up with my viewership. So if that can be possible, let us work towards that. And let's make sure we state our stuff in the comments if you were able to comment when we were doing in the chat. Everyone have a good morning, Sunday morning. Be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. And
Night.
good morning, good night, good evening. Shay,
I'm right here.
we out.
All right, we out. I'm out. Until next time, peace.
Until next time. Peace, everybody. Love, peace, and hair grease. Bye.